Hey, what is up, everybody? ShartimusPrime here, and I am starting just well, I guess I'm right on time, but just barely making it over here, and needed to send this link over to TalkerArt. So we're going to cover. One thing I want to do before we get TalkerArt on here is I want to address some winners from last week's giveaway that still haven't gotten back to me. I have their names. I had their names written down. I think I left it in the other room. Ah, damn it! I thought I'd mention. Yeah, I did bring it with me to the other room because the last time I talked about it, it was during. I was in the dork room. Maybe later on when Talker's on here. He could entertain you guys for a second. I'll trust him to entertain you guys while I go to the other room to get the names. But let me get the link over to TalkerArt real quick because he was asking me like, "Hey, yo, whatever happened?" So let me just get this sent over. I hope everybody's doing well. By the way, sorry for the delay. Let's see here. We're going to talk some shit. So here we go. Talking hella shart. There you go. All right. You should get it. Just sent. All right. I just sent the. All right. Sorry, everybody. So I always make it a close call right from eating dinner with the family and then jumping on here. So there we go. All right. Sorry, everybody. I'm kind of just like getting it together right now. So there we go. All right. So it says you need mods. You need mods, Russ. Let me try to get this. I don't know how it does. I think I'll be okay. Cowboy Collector, due to the nature of it being TalkerArt on here, and I'm sure he has people that are huge fans of his that love me more than they love him. I think it'd be cool to let them say their piece, whatever. I want it to be a fairly open forum, and but if people are gonna if we're gonna get outside the realm of talking about toys and people are gonna get weird, then I don't want that shit around. You know what I mean? Like, let's just keep it to the toy shit. That's what we're gonna be focusing on. So later on in the stream, I brought these back out here because I did get some free shit. And by the way, disclaimer, know ahead of time that there will be cursing and there may be some adult topics throughout this live stream because we do have TalkerArt here. Okay, so be mindful. If you're a younger viewer, go ask your parents if it's cool to watch with them or something, or maybe just don't watch at all. And then everybody else who you know, if you get offended easily, like, it's not really the right place. All right, so anyway, I have winners that I already announced for this 2-pack set right here and the podcast figure right here. And let's bring him in. We now have TalkerArt. All right, dude. Okay. Hey, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. I totally deserve it. I'm not upset about it or anything.
Oh, shit!
No, it's like
Sorry,
I did that on purpose, man. I'm sorry.
I was on a Hasbro ass kissing live stream. Let me put my earpods in.
But I had to do the thing that happened with me on the freaking on the Hasbro event. Your screen went dark. I need caffeine, probably. I'm a little bit tired, but all right. Are you?
Let me see. Can you hear me okay without him, man?
Yeah. Can you turn up your volume a little bit? It's a little on the quiet side. I'm gonna see if I can mess with it a little bit. Oh no, it's all my shit's all built in. I gotta get the cam. You all right?
Yeah, I gotta hook them up. I think they're not synced in.
Can you guys hear Talker okay? Got Dr. Scumlord in. I was staying on top of everything, but had a prior engagement at the worst timing. Oh,
Let me
man.
try to go to my settings real
Oh,
quick
you
and
missed
turn
the
them
Venom
on.
pre-order. Damn it. Cowboy Collector. All right, I'll just sit back and enjoy then. Yeah, no, but thank you so much, Cowboy Collector. I mean, it would be a better idea to do that in case stuff gets really stupid or whatever. But you know, if anything happens like that's really, really serious or whatever, send me a message on the Tron, and then yeah, so yeah. Okay, here we go. Oh, Talker had to zoom out. You want me to zoom?
I had to go to my settings and put my earbuds on. I thought they already synced up, but
Okay, cool.
it should have been more ready for you. But you know,
Oh, it's all right. You know, that's why I put you on the second channel, because I was expecting this kind of bullshit. You know?
oh, okay.
You know? I was expecting this amateur kind of shit. No, dude. So, thank you so much for making it on, man, and good to talk.
For you, anything you know that.
Yeah, I knew you'd do it. I know you wanted me to do it on the main one, but I had already moved it to over here, and that's because Hasbro asked me to, and I do everything that. No, I'm just.
We know this. You don't
This is
you don't have
why.
to say that. We know
Hasbro's
what's
like,
going on.
Russ, if you could do your live streams, you know, on a second channel,
Yeah.
maybe.
Is
Russ,
it
why
true?
don't you call it Russ Toy Reviews?
Hasbro is a shareholder in your main channel.
Say that again. A shareholder on the main.
Yeah. Are they part? Like, what do they have? Like
Shartimus Prime.
49% ownership of that channel?
Closer to 89%. You
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, closer to 89%. You know,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of wiggle room, and you know, and I'm kind of easy. So, but I want to talk to. I want to do a little background convo. Let's like catch people up with who you are first. Again, disclaimer: there's going to be foul language, maybe some adult topics, but I want you to kind of give people a little bit of a backstory as far as like what got you into collecting, how long you've been collecting, and what got you into posting YouTube videos.
Did you want to talk about what we did when we shared a room in New York, or you want to leave that for like a totally different day?
No, we could do that for the after party, because
right.
The after party from 8 to 9 p.m. on Patreon.
Okay. Yeah. We'll
so if you want to stick around for that, totally optional. You don't have to, but if you want to,
so
we can get to all the details.
Collecting, I just I've just always had a thing for toys. When I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money. I'm sure you probably didn't either. So toys were very limited when I was a kid. I did have a handful of Star Wars figures, 3 3/4. That's basically the only thing that I had. If I wanted to go look at the cool shit, I'd have to go to my neighbor's house because they had the AT-AT and Money and Falcon. And of course, I didn't have any of that shit. So just growing up, I'd always kind of, had a thing for action figures. And then, I'd go to Toys R Us on occasion. And I'd see like the Nightmare for Christmas action figures, and I was like, God, I really like this movie. I'd really like to get these toys, but I didn't have my own house. I was bounce, live and rent somebody's room out or have an apartment or whatever. So
you're probably in your early 20s at the time or something, or
right, yeah. So just trying to figure life out. Like I worked, and I didn't want to travel with a collection. And so then once I did get a house, I went to like a swap meet and saw like one of the Wildcat figures, that brown guy with 4 arms. He's up pretty high, and I picked up him, and I got, man, that's would look really cool on my shelf. And then, because I bought my own house at 25, and then
wow, dude,
put him on the shelf. And then I was like, man, it'd kind of be cool to get the rest of this Wildcat team, and then got that team, and then you know how it goes from there. Like you're like, oh, what's one more, and then I started doing catch up on all the 5-inch Marvel figures, back in the day. Like I was like, because I really was a fan of those cartoons. Like I just loved them. Like that's back like when you would set a timer and record it on your VHS, and then when you come home from work, whatever, you start watching them. And then I was just a huge fan of that, and so I had to get all of those. And then one thing led to the next, and I had a place to where I put them. My old house was like really small, and it looked like 40-year-old virgin within 6 months. It was literally in the kitchen, in the bathroom, in the bedroom, in the spare
Oh,
room,
nice. And now,
and
what
it
year
was
is this? Just for relevance, because this matters.
that
This stuff.
that I mean, I'm 53. That was 28 years ago. I think I was 26.
Okay, so you're
Or
getting.
yeah,
It's around the same time I
one
started my channels.
right. So yeah, so then and when I got it, and then then like I was wanting to grow up, build my dream house, and I loved the toys so much. I was like, well, I want to build a really big room and have a really nice collection. I didn't want my house to look like 40-year-old virgin anymore. And then just the size of my collection and where I wanted to take it, I built this big giant, like it's a home theater if you look at my drawings, but it's basically just a big giant room and no windows, one door. And I figured the dust is a huge issue because I live in the desert. And so I figured maybe that would help reduce the dust a little bit. It does a
Mhm.
little bit, but the dust is horrible. And I don't know how bad the dust is there. You kind of live a little bit more damper than I have, but
Yeah, we have
I'm
more.
I'm sure it's bad. Dust is our worst
Prob-
enemy.
yeah.
And then that was it. I built this house and then started doing this crazy collection. And then I was looking at YouTube one day, and then I never knew that people review toys or whatever. I'd go to Comic Con every year. Like I went to like the second Comic Con I think there ever was, and Jesse Falcon's sitting there with a fold up table in somebody else's booth. He didn't even have it's just like a random booth that he knew, and he's literally folding out his own table, and he's pulling uh, Toy Biz action figures out of his pockets and Ziploc bags and setting them on this fold up table.
It's at Toy Fair,
And
right?
that was at San Diego Comic Con.
Oh, is that San Diego Comic Con? Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so it was real early. That was, I mean, that was 20. I mean, we were both like kids back then. And that was when you could drive from Vegas, drive to San Diego, pay $20 at the door, get a day pass, and do the whole show in 2 hours, and then bounce and then still drive back to Vegas. Like it was really small back then. And then I think I hit it off with Jesse. Like, I don't want to put words in his mouth. And then I just started busting his balls, and he just has a really good sense of humor, and he just really kind of took to it. And then I busted his balls so much to where it really wasn't even fun anymore. Cause like it would just, I wouldn't get a reaction out of him. He thought it was funny, and then it just wasn't that cool. And then just one thing to the next, and then like I would stand at the shows, and I would steal exhibitor passes every year because you had to get in the show early, and
Mhm.
that exhibitor pass is gold if you can get in early. And then I would steal some and give him to him because he was at the time he was having like a hard time getting a pass to the show because he was like nothing back then. And then we were always kind of cool. I always said hi to him at the show, and then I don't know. He helped me get into Toy Fair last when we went, and then he's helped me along the way. But then I try to because I have his number, so I try to limit my favors with him because I don't really know how cool we are. Like I think you and me are cool, but then I wonder how cool are we really because I don't really see you on a daily. So like when I talk shit about you, like I'm like shit, am I offending him or does he think it's funny? Like same thing with Jesse. Like I talk shit about him all the time. I don't know if he thinks it's funny. With Jesse, I really don't give a shit if he likes me or not. Like it's kind of like I wish he would like me. That would be cool. If he doesn't like me, that's also cool.
Well,
Like
you
I
already know that if I had something that I wanted to talk to you about, I would talk to you about it. We've already
right,
crossed that. We've already been there. We've
yeah,
so if I was really like upset about one thing or another, like it,
yeah. You'd be like,
we
you
have
got to
open
quit talking shit
communication.
about me. Like it's
Like,
just too
well,
much.
yeah. I mean, if you're talking a lot of shit, it's like it takes a minute sometimes to kind of remember where you're coming from. You know what I mean?
Right,
And like what and to kind of like read between the lines of how you actually feel or how you're actually thinking or behind what
right.
you're actually saying. So because you like to play games with your words when you're talking shit,
I
and
do. Yes.
and a
I
lot
I
of the
love
things that you
I
say
love
isn't exactly what you mean, and some, you know what I mean? So there's like
yeah.
some things between the lines that need to be read that I don't think most people, well, I think some people understand and then some people don't. Like I saw, yeah, like I could see some comments out there were like, okay, I think they get where Talker's coming from, but then I think more people, honestly, I think kind of think you fuel up whatever anger that people have about whatever company it is, you know what I mean? Whether it's Hasbro or
Right.
because you talk shit about whatever you're basically, I mean, you go out of your way to be insulting to companies, right? And
Absolutely.
you do that across the board, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's kind of your thing, but it's not, but you're not necessarily really that upset about it, because if you were, you would stop giving them your fucking money.
Absolutely.
So it's like
Absolutely.
so it's so like if you like the real shit talk, the real ball buster, right? Like we're like not even busting balls, but like a real hater move would be that like you just stopped buying and stopped talking about it at all
Yeah,
whatsoever,
I'm just done with
and
action figures.
you're just or Hasbro figures or whoever else you want to, you know, whoever your who's on your biggest shit list, right?
Right.
You just like you wouldn't talk about them, and it just wouldn't be in your purview anymore if you're really hating on whatever particular company it was you're
Yeah.
talking about.
With
God, I've
all you
talked about that,
YouTubers,
dude.
like
Jesus Christ.
cause I hit Jesse up, like people hit Shiz up and they're like, hey, like they when everybody was starting to do interviews with Hasbro, like when they were coming out passing out free figures and offering up these interviews and shit like that. And I didn't really think about it, I'm like, whatever, like I didn't really care. And then people were asking around, like, hey, when are you going to interview him? When are you going to interview him? And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll call Jesse up and see what he says. So I called
Mhm.
Jesse up and I was like, hey, when do I get an interview? And he's like, well, that's kind of Dwight's thing. I don't want to step on Dwight's toes. If
Mm.
Dwight's cool with it, then I'm cool with it. And I'm like, well, Dwight doesn't like me. So I don't think that he likes me, but because I've busted his balls as much as I've busted Jesse's balls. And Dwight, to me, like, I just think he's a little soft. He doesn't take it very well. He told on me, he told Daddy Jesse that I bust his balls. And he's like, hey, that dude, like he's always busting my balls. And Jesse goes, well, are you busting Dwight's balls? And I said, yeah, fuck yeah, I am. That's what I do. Like, I'm not going to go to so when you go to San Diego Comic Con, that is golden. That is, you can go there and you can fuck with those dudes for 5 days straight, or you can go there and you can suck their dick for 5 days straight. Like, that choice is you. I know the old Shartimus back in the day used to show up with an action figure and show them shit that he liked on it and ask Dwight, why the fuck can't he do this? Like, that was the Shart that would get shit done. That was a Shart that would show up with, like, hey, why can't you make a double jointed female action figure? Which I'm not particularly a big fan of, but now that we got it and we got it penless, I'm like, fuck, he actually, wow, thanks, Shart. Thanks for being a nail in his side for fucking 15 years about that, because now I see the light and I'm like, holy shit, this is really nice. Like, busting their balls, we get a lot done. When we give them praise, I don't feel like we get as much done. Like, I think, like, given it, because I don't have an opportunity to give them an interview. Like, they won't let me interview them. Like, I know that when you interview them, you got to give them their questions in advance and you got to keep it limited on the surprises. And I think that that's bullshit. Like, I
Well,
think that if you could just, why can't you just give them a real interview? Like, what are they afraid of?
that's actually, if you were to look like at the press, that's actually really common that people submit questions. It's not that weird.
We're not
For the
talking
record,
about
I've
CNN and
never
Fox here. We're talking about fucking toys.
well, for the record, I've never been asked to not ask something. I've never
Do
had
you
any.
have to submit your questions before you
I
do an
do.
interview?
I submit the questions, and actually, not even every time I've done that, but most of the time I've submitted questions, and not once has there ever been a question where they said, "Can you please not ask that?" or "We're not going to talk about that." Nothing. I've never been censored in any kind of way. But I will tell you this: look, over the years, you're talking about the old Shart busting their balls, right? And
Right.
look how much those figures sucked back then, dude. They sucked so much more back then than they do now. I feel I would be a phony if I bitched about the figures just as much now as I did back then, because it's a fact that they've been improved upon. So if I'm just bitching to bitch, now I feel like a fucking phony because now I'm just doing it to rile people up or get clicks and stuff like that. And to me, that's bullshit. I'm keeping it real. I ask for double jointed elbows. You give me double jointed elbows, I have to be happy about it.
You do.
So if I don't act happy about it, now I'm just being fake as fuck. And that's not what I'm about.
Right.
Now, as far as being cordial, I like being, I honestly think action figures are amazing and I think they're an art. So pretty much whoever's making them, I'm a fanboy for action figures. So I honestly get like, it's like me in music. Like it doesn't matter if the band fucked up the second song or whatever, I'm still going to be a fanboy for that band. I'm still going to love that band. So I come from the perspective of like, wow, you're an incredible artist. I see these people as artists. So I have a lot of respect for them, especially with me trying to get my own thing done. I'm really seeing like things in a different kind of way. But I will say that when I have my complaints, I still bring up I want toe articulation. I still bring up the things that I want. I still bring up bendy wire. I still constantly bring up the things that I want to see in the toy line. Now, I may not be rude about it because I don't want to be. Like it's not nobody's telling me not to be rude about it.
Right.
It's just me not wanting to be that fucking reckless dick that I was when I was younger. And I was just thinking,
which I love that reckless dick. Like you were, I'm so
good at being a dick, dude. I could be such an asshole that I
like, holy shit, as I didn't even know who you were until, and like when I saw it, because I didn't know there was YouTube videos and all this shit about toys. And I was scrolling on YouTube one day and I saw Marvel Legend Collector video and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like, what's this dude? Like Marvel Legends, not Super Marvel Legends. And I watched that video and I was like, holy fuck, this dude is amazing. This dude is a genius. I watched it. I showed it to my girlfriend. Check this dude out. And then I went through your videos and I saw that you had more Marvel Legend Collector videos, watched all the videos. And then I was like, holy shit, people actually review toys? Like this shit is crazy. And then I saw you like interviewing them, old school Shart, carrying action figures in your pocket, wanting to vent because you can blow them up hard at Comic Con. Like you can ruin their 5-day trip and you can just fuck with them all day, which I usually do. And then I don't know, because this character selection I think is shit. I think it's all over the place. Like sometimes they have a direction, but then sometimes they don't. And it's maybe it's me being a little bitch because I'm not getting the figures that I want. And a lot of it seems like Dwight wasn't collecting back when we were collecting. So does he have all the shit that we have? Like when he sees these prices on eBay, is like, so this figure's $200. It's an old ass figure. Does Dwight have it? I don't think that he does. Maybe he does. Maybe he's remaking it because he doesn't want to spend $200 to get that figure in his collection. I don't know, but that's the question that I would want to ask Dwight. So when you're asking Dwight like these softball questions, I'm like, yeah, they're pretty decent questions. They're not the questions that I would ask. And then a lot of it is when you're talking about price of the figures and you're like, oh, well, they're $25 now. You know, McFarlane shit. McFarlane's are original sculpts, pretty much every figure, original sculpt, decent paint. I'm not a big fan of their articulation. I think it's chunky. I'm not really a big fan. They're $19.99. So when they raise the price to $25, like, I'm sitting here going, Shark, call them out, bro. That's fucking bullshit. Don't tell me it's freight and it's shipping and it's this when their competition is still less money.
Do you know that Hasbro is public and Todd is not?
No.
You didn't know
so that's the reason why we have to pay $5 more a figure?
Huge difference. Yeah. It's not 1-to-1. And Todd said that as he was coming up with DC Multiverse, that I'm going to smoke all of these other companies, all these other big companies, because I'm private. I don't have shareholders. I could bring my price down. So that's a huge advantage.
Same thing with Todd.
The freight shipping thing is not a lie. I heard you say that, and it's not a lie. It's actually real because I'm trying to get my shit over here. Why would my factory lie to me? And it's not Hasbro's factory. Hasbro doesn't do that shit. It's not Hasbro's factory. So how does another factory that has nothing to do with Hasbro have the same exact issue going on? It's not a lie about the freight shipping. But you are right that the extra cost is going towards the corporate greed. Yeah, because it's a public company, but that's the nature of it, and it's outside the hands of these designers. Like Dwight, Ryan, Dan, like they're piss ants compared to the suits. They have no say in any of that fucking shit.
Right.
It's a public company. It's Hasbro.
It would just be nice to hear it asked.
Well, I asked, and that well, asked what part? Because I
just
asked
about them. Ask us, call them out. Just ask them how come. Say you take Todd, for instance. Not that I'm defending Todd, like because he has DC figures that are $19, which he has to pay somebody for the license, but then he owns a license for Spawn, and his Spawn figures are $25. Like, why the fuck am I paying more for Spawn when you don't have to pay a licensing fee? Like, so I mean, it's not just that I attack Hasbro, which I love to attack Hasbro.
No, and I don't just defend Hasbro either. I defend all of them with logic, with facts. I defend what I believe is to be actually real. You know what I mean? So with the Spawn thing, I think Spawn is not going to sell nearly as much as a Batman figure. Like you don't have nearly as many Spawn fans as you do Batman fans.
Right.
So whenever you bring your order quantity down, it kicks up the cost of each of those items that you're producing. If you have a fuck ton of Batmans, now you could charge a lot less. But you have way less Spawn fans, you produce less. That's what makes sense to me. Who knows? There might be some other information that I could look at it differently, but as far as what I know right now, that's the way I'm seeing it. Same thing with the Hasbro Pulse exclusive stuff. Those are exclusive there. They don't get sold wholesale across to Target and Walmart and all that. You know when you go to Toy Fair, you see the suits sitting down. We've witnessed that shit. The suits all sitting down and they're talking about MOQs. That's what it's all about, and they're trying to get a fuck ton of these figures out to Walmart, out to Target and everything. When you don't have your Walmart and Target holding your product, you bring down your MOQ, your minimum order quantity, and you're going to pay more per figure. So when you have a Hasbro Con or a Hasbro Pulse exclusive, you have a much smaller amount that you're selling, and each figure costs more. Same thing with the
Spawn. So when you're sitting there and you're going, the figures cost more. Okay, if the figures cost more, and then they take this bullshit vintage card thing, which they look amazing in the package, but I know you and me don't keep shit in the package. They give you some little figure.
Well, I have a couple.
Well, I mean, for the most part, we open all our shit.
I'm with you. Yeah, we keep our shit on the shelves.
You get no accessory, no Build-A-Figure, and then they charge you more than they do for the Build-A-Figure line. Like so, say like the Build-A-Figure line they're what, $22.99 now, and then you take a vintage card and you're lucky to find it for $22.99. You usually have to go to like a comic book store somewhere. It's where it's $25, and then it seems like they just keep upping the price, and we just keep getting a little less. Like a question I would ask is, why is this little Tigra figure? I mean, she's a new mold. It takes Spider-Man $2,099. Like, that's still a small figure. It's not like crazy paint apps or anything. You do a figure with that, no Build-A-Figure, and then it costs more. And it's a figure that you've already made, which it's cool. I get it. You give, the shit went way up in price. I don't know what it got up to, but it's like you're remaking figures and you're charging a shit ton of, like, I'm going to pass on that figure. I actually watched your review when you saw it. And you were kind of like,
pass if you have the older
one.
one.
And you were kind of like,
I say don't buy it in my videos. That's what I'm telling you. I say don't buy it.
I saw on that one. It was like, well, he actually gave people some good advice. If you got the old one, don't spend the $27 on this bullshit. But it's just the fact that they're charging.
But I didn't call it bullshit, and that's a big difference. Is I don't want to say that. I just want to say, hey, look, if you bought the first one, you don't need to buy this one. But it's the same way. We're saying the same thing, but I
no, but say that to them in an interview. Like, don't say that.
It's not for me, though.
We know it.
But it's not for me. That figure is not for me. I own the first one. There's other people that missed out on that first one. It's for a different collector to pick up that Spidey 2099. If you have the first Spidey 2099 figure, right?
Yeah.
Don't buy the latest one. Like, don't spend your money on that. You don't need it. If you missed out on that first one, I would tell you, you may want to think about getting that one. Now, it depends on how much you like Spidey 2099. If you really, really, really love him that much, I would say you may even want to pay the scalper price to get the first one, because that's how much I like the first one more than the second one. So I even may recommend that you spend more money to pay the scalper price because that's how much I like the first one more.
So when they're doing these vintage cards, like they do a Fantastic Four set, any set on a vintage card.
Okay,
they're very limited on the accessories. And no Build-A-Figure. And they're the same price or more.
And you're trying to figure out where the money's going.
Right.
What's it called again? The vintage
Dwight
card.
wants his Christmas bonus.
Okay, so I honestly, look, I can't tell you how much more they're making off of that. I really don't know. I would be lying if I were to just make it up.
Right. Do you like the vintage card with the limited accessory and no Build-A-Figure? Do you like that, or would you like the Build-A-Figure line better?
I prefer the Build-A-Figure line, but
then why don't you tell them that?
Because
tell Dwight that. Just go, look, Dwight, does it look like hold one up here and hold one up here and go, these are the same price. What do you think we as collectors, we as fans would rather have?
So check it out. Look.
Because they won't ask me that question.
Very much like the Spider-Man 2099 figure. The vintage card thing is its own gimmick. And there is a lot more money put into making these. First off, here, look at the size of these fucking things compared. Look how much more space this takes compared to this one right here. Look how much larger that card is. That, I don't know how much of that extra, and then look at how much more ink that you're getting all over this one and everything. Just the sheer size of it right there.
Dude, what is that bullshit you're holding up right there?
It's the King. It's an opened Kingo.
Come on, man. How boring is it reviewing those fucking figures?
I'm gonna do them all at once.
Yeah, smart, and make that like a 6-minute video, and I might watch it. If you don't talk a little shit on that one, we might not be friends. Because
I've been talking shit about Eternals already.
Have you seen the movie yet?
No, but I've tried reading some and I didn't like it. I'm telling you, I actually even got bummed out because I got a trade paperback as a birthday gift. Right. I was like, I bought the first issue of this and I didn't like it, and then my friend got me the whole trade paperback as a gift, and I was like, oh man. But the figures themselves seem pretty cool to me. As far as my interest in
they put money in the movie figures. Like, that's another thing. I did quit.
Cool.
Like you were saying, you don't have to bitch. You can just stop. Well, I stopped getting movie figures. Like, I don't like the direction of the Marvel movies. They're too watered down. The costumes aren't close enough. The characters aren't close enough. Like, make it like the old school. Like the comics. I love the comics. Like, make a comic book movie like the comic. Like, put Wolverine in fucking yellow spandex and make him wear that the whole time. Like, I don't want to see superheroes in street clothes. Like, that just killed it.
Wolverine's street clothes. He does the street clothes in the comics a fuck ton. So for him,
he's a good one. But I mean, for the most part, you see guys in their costume. Like when you watch a '90s cartoon, like I just want to see him in the costume. I don't know, the movies, I still see them all. Like Black Widow, I was kind of like, I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't love it. Shang-Chi, I was like, once again, I didn't hate it. I didn't.
Shang-Chi.
I didn't love it.
Say it right. I was saying it wrong like a douchebag for hella long, but
yeah, well, that's right up my alley. And then Eternals, I'm gonna go see it tomorrow, but I mean, I want to love it, but just off of what I've already heard and everything else, it's just that one's gonna be.
I don't want to know anything.
I don't know anything either, but I don't think I don't think either one of us is gonna walk out of there thinking that was a great movie.
I want to like it, but I really don't have much interest in the Eternals aside from what it will do to the MCU. Like, that's the thing I'm looking forward to. But as far as the figure goes, just being 100% real over here, as far as a guy who likes to buy action figures, I think these are actually pretty cool figures. Like, they look pretty cool. If I end up loving the movie, I'm going to like them a whole lot more. If I end up not liking the movie, I'm going to like them a whole lot less. My fandom changes based off of how much I like the source material.
Right. That's
You know?
where I'm at in the movies. Like, I don't love the movies, and I don't really need to spend $25 on a movie figure. So I just said, screw it. I'm done with the movie. I got like
Yeah.
I'm 10,000 action figures in this room, or real close to that. I would
Okay.
love to sell half of it and get that down to 5,000, and just spread them out and really enjoy the stuff that I like. It sucks
Just
that
give
I
them to
like
me. I like free shit, man. And
you got if you had
I
a
like
place to
I,
display
I
them,
like begging and
we
I
would
like
have a
free
different
shit. So just
conversation.
give them all to me. No, don't give me your
But
figures.
I don't want them in your Tupperware in your garage with half your
That's where
other
they're gonna go.
collection.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know, like, because I want to downsize, and then when you downsize, like a lot of times when I buy shit, like when I buy movie figures, they'll sit on my floor, and I'm like, I'm not excited to review them if they don't have a build a figure in there that's comic book related that I was excited to get. Like when I got that build a figure Fat Thor, which what I thought was a great wave. I just wasn't very excited. It probably sat on my floor for like 2 months before I
The
even opened them
Build-A-Figure,
up.
right? Oh, the whole wave. Oh, wow. Okay.
The whole wave, because you're like,
Mhm.
whatever. But when I get like, it sucks as I love Marvel Legends,
Mhm.
and then like it's like I'm just like, dude, I've been collecting this shit, Marvel Legends since day one. Like I remember like the Venom line when they weren't real sure if they're gonna go with Marvel Legends or not, and they had those weird lines right before Marvel Legends, and they weren't real sure about the 5 inch or the 6 inch, and they're just clueless on their direction. And
Right.
then and I
Mhm.
was with them the whole time. And then I would, I'd go down and couldn't wait to bust Jesse's balls about the mixed direction and what the fuck do you mean they're not going to be 5 inch anymore? Like I'm invested in this 5 inch shit. Now you're going to make it all 6 inch, and I was
Wow.
like upset about it. I
Dude,
was like,
you're the first person you're the first person I ever heard that was able to bitch about Marvel Legends that early.
right,
Like you're like you're probably the first person to ever bitch about Marvel Legends because it never
Yeah,
even had
yeah,
a
no, I
chance.
am. Yeah, it didn't. When they came out in 6 inch, and I
Yeah,
accepted the fact that it was going to be 6 inch, I was
yeah.
on board. I was like,
Okay.
okay. But
All
at
right.
the
So I
time,
can
there
do
was no
that.
such thing as a 6 inch action figure. They were 5 inch action figures. Like
Yeah.
there wasn't a 6 inch action
I
figure.
know. That's why it blew my fucking mind when I saw them on the
Right.
shelf. I was just like,
And I
"Oh,
was like,
finally, McFarlane's making Marvel figures! Yes!"
right.
That's like I literally said that out loud at Toys R Us, and I grabbed that
Mc,
fucking Wolverine and
McFarlane changed the game. Like
oh
it was like
yeah,
5 inch Toy Biz figures, and then Spawn came out, and you were like, "What the fuck is
yeah.
this?" And I was
Mhm.
reading Spawn at the time, so I was like, "You got to be shitting me!" And you didn't know when shit came out because there was
Yeah,
no internet or nothing. You just
yeah.
walk in there and you
It's just
saw
there.
Malbolgia squeezed in this little package, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And you're like, "Well, he's like $9.99. It's a lot of money." And then and then you get it, and you're like, "Holy shit! Look how big this thing is!" It was amazing, and because of them, everybody Todd changed the game for action figures.
Oh yeah,
He
he did.
single handedly changed it, and then
He
everybody had to
created
come to his level.
adult collectibles at a retail market. Like that
Right?
never existed before. I remember
No.
seeing him at the comic book shops and I just remember getting blown away and a lot of it I didn't catch on to Spawn later on. So like that freaky ass fucking demon shit fucking blew my mind. Like it was like what the fuck is going on? This is
It was just amazing.
and then when I
It
think
was
I caught on later when the cartoon came out. I think HBO think
right.
that was like my gateway. And then the movie came out not that long after, I want to say, like not even that long after, and then backtrack reading after that. So
Yeah, it was good. He changed it. And I remember, were you going to Comic Con back when like Toy Biz like went out of business and like
Mhm.
there was no more Marvel, and like Marvel was like done. It was, and then Jesse was sitting behind a little fold up table, and he's got image figures on it. And I'm like, Jesse, what the fuck?
Oh, Legendary Heroes, yeah.
Yeah, were you around when that Legendary Heroes came out at
Uh,
Comic Con?
I may have. It was my first Comic Con was before that, in I want to say it was 2004, and
Right.
then the
He
next one, yeah, and then the
he
next
was like in the diamond booth, and he had a fold up table, and he's standing there, just him, so you could
one.
fuck with him all day long, because if he went to the bathroom, he'd have to put the figures in his pockets because he didn't have nobody to watch them. Like they would just sit on a fold up table, and you're like, what the fuck? Image, like this shit, okay. And I was a huge Image fan at the time. And I'm like, Jesse, where's the Marvel shit? And he's like, ain't no more Marvel shit, bro. Like the Marvel shit, like you would literally go to Comic-Con and there wouldn't be anything Marvel. Like Marvel was fucking done. Until they did Iron Man 1, it was like nobody gave a shit. Then Iron Man 1 came out and boom, it shit
Well,
took
it
off
never,
again.
yeah. Well, that's like, yeah, you're referring to the dark days of Marvel Legends, like
Right.
between the year like 2007 to 2010. So it didn't really turn around until 2014 for me, but like 2011 they started trying a lot more. 2011 was like the rebranding, the return of Marvel Legends, right? But it didn't really pick up till 2014. It's still kind of, there's still, dude. See, that's the thing I'm saying is, you remember when they had the tiny ass bitch ass fucking Build-A-Figures?
Yeah.
I hated
Yeah.
those things. I fucking
Monkey
bitched about
Man
those.
and
They
Puck.
didn't. They never. They. I, the most they regressed to that was like a regular size, like Gilgamesh or something like that. But they never got smaller than that after that period, right? They had Jubilee, Hit Monkey, right, and the Rocket Raccoon, like tiny ass little Build-A-Figures. I bitched about those too. They stopped doing it. I stopped bitching, right? There's like a lot of things like that that happened back then that
Okay,
they
so wait,
stopped
let me
doing.
jump in real quick. You were
Sure.
bitching about a small Build-A-Figure.
Mm-hmm.
Now we
Yeah.
don't get any Build-A-Figure.
Yeah. We get
So where's the
Build-A-Figures.
bitching?
Okay. The vintage card thing, it's not for
You
everybody.
buying into that?
Look, I buy
Now,
shit
bro.
to review. I would not buy every vintage carded figure if it wasn't for
Okay,
the
give me a
channel.
vintage card and put a fucking super sick accessory in that, like the little Fantastic Four robot or some shit. Put
Or
the
Herbie.
Fantastic Four kid in there. Like do
Okay,
the
so wait,
vintage card
wait,
and
I
give
want
us
to
a
tell you
cool
something.
accessory.
Okay, so you understand that just shipping 6 of those compared to shipping 6 of these is going to cost way more, right?
Does the vintage card have to be that big? They'd have the same effect with a smaller card.
I'm not trying to defend the vintage card. I'm saying that gimmick is for some collectors, and for other collectors like you and me, it's not so much. It's
I'm
for
trying to get
somebody
more for my
else.
dollar, Shark. 25 bucks. You got kids.
Pass on
25 bucks
these.
for an action figure is a,
Pass,
I
pass.
can't. I'm addicted to this shit. Are you
Well, then
kidding?
stop
I
bitching
wish
about
I
it. Then
could
deal with it.
put
Then,
put the
then I'm
vintage card on a
well.
minifigure and I'll pass on that shit. I love my collection. I love collecting toys. I also want to vent when I'm like, don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth. I'm not gonna not buy it because I still love it. I just wish we would get a little bit more for our dollar. Like when you throw Kirby in there, I'm like, fuck, this is sweet. Like that's a really cool accessory. There's a lot of cool shit. They could give us a little bit more. Like, are you sick of these magic effects yet? Like, they give us Jubilee with an actual Jubilee effect. Like, is it that expensive? Like, I don't know. I don't make toys. I work construction, but it just seems like they could give us a little bit more when they take away the Build-A-Figure. Like, put something else in there. Like, remember when we got Hit Monkey and you're like, what the fuck, Hit Monkey? Or when what was it, Build Up Mantis? And like for the movie figure, I was really
Yeah, I
bummed
was
about
frustrated
that
with
because
that.
I
Yeah.
was like, I think I even heard you like vent on one of your videos or something where like this is kind of bullshit. Like it should be bigger, not smaller. But now if we get used to
So
nothing, then it's just gonna get less and less every time.
okay. So here's the thing, and this is why I'm not as upset about it as you are with the vintage card stuff, because I feel like it's not. Well, it's starting to ramp up, but just now I feel like it's starting to ramp up. But if it happened a lot more often, if it was like every wave, then I'd be hella pissed about it. I would want regular Build-A-Figure waves. But it feels like these vintage collection waves come out like one every 4 waves. It's not every time. If it
Right.
was every time, I would then at that point, if it was like every wave and is going to be vintage collection, vintage card, then I'm right there with you. Like, hey, come on. Now you're just catering to the people that like that more than the people that don't, or you could possibly be right that they're making a killing on every vintage card figure. I don't know for a fact. I can't pretend I know, but I do know that that is a lot bigger than this. And when you're dealing with moving bigger boxes, it gets more expensive. And
So when they do that small box as a Walgreens exclusive, and it's just a one-off figure,
right,
and there's obviously
cool.
not going to be a build on because it's a one-off. Give us a decent accessory. Give us a decent magic effect. Like you give us a little something to where I'm like, dude, because now it's $25. Like, I mean, remember when Marvel Legends, what were they, $8.99?
What was that
like
US agent? How much was that US agent though? For like, was that the same price as a vintage collection figure? I feel like that was cheaper.
Which
I
US
think
agent?
John Walker, the John Walker US agent.
The movie
Yeah,
TV
the movie
one
figure that came in the. I feel like that was cheaper than that, or whatever
Yeah,
the latest.
I'm done with all the movie shit and the TV shows and all that.
But this is a really good point that you're bringing up, though, because that definitely doesn't have the big packaging. That
right.
It's going to help me make my point. Basically, is that the packaging has a lot to do with the cost. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So if somebody, I remember the John Walker being closer to like $20 to $22. These shits are going closer to $27 now, right? Can you guys, who we got other people that bought both of these figures, do you guys remember how much the John Walker Captain America cost compared the Walmart exclusive Captain America John Walker figure compared? How much was that? Because I remember it being like $20 to $22. So if you're looking at a $5 price decrease from the vintage card, that kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
I mean, should be.
Doesn't it? Right?
Where are you at? Where are you at on the character selection for Marvel Legends? Because I mean, wouldn't you like to complete your Inhumans team? Like how many? What we got?
I would love a crystal figure.
3 Black Bolts and what? 2 Medusas, and it's like every time I get to talk to Dwight or Jesse, it's like, what do you have against? Like, there's so many redo. Like whenever they redo characters, I'm like, okay, I get it. It's for the it's either because Dwight didn't have one in his collection, or because like I just 26-ish.
So that's 25, but all original sculpt. It was like 26. It was 25 Sharmus, plus you got to pay shipping and tax. Well, that's a given, bro. That doesn't go to Hasbro. The shipping and tax doesn't go to Hasbro, just so you know. The point is Hasbro juicing, right? Are they juicing us with the vintage card stuff? I'll tell you what, man, whether they're juicing us or not, I'm right there with you if they're going to do that every fucking wave. I don't want that every wave, for sure. That's like, to me, that's more for collectors. That I see some dope-ass collections on the wall with all the min-on card figures up there, and I can understand why you would want to dive into that, why that would be a big deal for that type of collector. But if it was every time, now I would start thinking like, okay, you're just catering to that collector, and I'm feeling left out over here.
When we started this shit, it was like, the first figures, they came with comic books, shoes, accessories, and then they did the Build-A-Figure thing, and then the Build-A-Figures were Giant Man, Apocalypse. Like we had like big shit.
Well,
Fang Foom.
Conversation, yeah,
right. And then they shrink, and because we're used to the big figure, and we're like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then they slowly take that away from us, and then they get to a smaller size figure, and then they went to a really small figure. And now, before, all we had was Marvel Legends with a Build-A-Figure. That's all there was. And now they're deterring, and they're going Walgreens exclusive, comic book exclusive, Amazon exclusive, and it's just a little like, I would rather package all that shit up, put it in a wave, and throw a Build-A-Figure in there, and it would be like, okay, this is awesome. Granted, the vintage card, whatever, but then you could still they're not, but you could still shrink the card a little if it's a shipping thing, because the bigger cost of shipping, then shrink that big ass card. The card is giant. You could do the same effect and throw in a decent accessory. Like you just got like, did you get your Iceman yet with the Apocalypse? Like,
it'll arrive on the 9th.
I haven't got mine either, but I've watched other reviews and they're like, holy shit, this Iceman is amazing. Iceman used to come with a fucking ice sled. Like, you can't. Iceman's one of the coolest characters ever. Give us a decent ice accessory.
That would
At
be
least throw in a fucking icicle that he can throw, or it's something.
It took
Like,
me years to get over, dude. It took me years to get over the disappointment of Build-A-Figure sizes and accessory sizes in the Hasbro times compared to the old school Toy Biz days. It took a long time for me to understand that the reason why one of the reasons why Toy Biz didn't survive was because of that shit. They charged way too little, and they had all kinds of QC issues going on. If you remember, that shit would get brittle even to this day, right? Like,
mine was solid. I've never really had I know it exists.
towards the end, it was bad, dude. Like those 2-packs. Remember, like the face-off
I've never had
2-packs
one
had some
break.
really bad QC issues. There's some figures that you couldn't even get their heads to move up at all. Like I remember in those 2-pack waves, like shit was getting kind of weird.
They looked like shit.
But the point is that, excuse me, is that I've had too many people that actually dealt with this kind of shit that explained to me that, look, that business model was too generous. Like, you guys had it way better than you even realized. And it makes sense to me. I would
do we
believe that if I would only believe that if the company didn't make it. It just proves it right there that the company, if it was feasible, if it worked out fine, then they would still be here. But it didn't work out.
Do you see right over here, Devil Dinosaur, T-Rex? Yeah. Was it $55?
That particular, I thought that was an original Jurassic Park.
No, that's my boy painted it, but I could go pull other shit out. Like Mattel is doing big ass dinosaurs for $30. Like, that's a huge shipping cost.
How many points of articulation do those things have? Do you
know articulation? They don't have shit. They don't have shit.
It's the articulation is a big deal. Like, you don't think it is, but when you see all those, when people take apart a figure and you see all those tiny little pieces all over the place, how much would you like to get paid to put all that shit together? Like you take time out of your day to put that thing together. How much do you want to get paid to do that? Like, it's going to cost money to put that shit together. You have the cast come out and it's like 6 different pieces. A big old dinosaur.
They're not exactly getting made in the USA, Shart. Like, they're paying slave labor to throw these things together. Like,
they're all doing it though.
And I know they're doing it, but I'm just saying, you get a big ass figure for a low price. They don't have shit for articulation. The paint apps are about the same as the Marvel Legends, but you get, like, let's say, like, with these bigger characters, which I love my Sentinel, and I thought the price after getting it was completely fair. Like, I was like, holy shit, I actually kind of feel like I got $400 worth of figure here. Like, I was pretty stoked on it. But then you take like a big character, like a Mole Man monster. Like, wouldn't you love to have one of those? I don't want to spend $400 on a Mole Man monster, but just do something like Devil Dinosaur. Like, are you against like the hollow vinyl larger characters, like, for a lower price? Like, I asked them about that, and they just, like, Jesse's like, no, not for $50. We ain't getting down like that. Like Jurassic Park has to pay for, Mattel has to pay for a license, but there's bigger character. Like, I like the bigger characters that they're doing now, like the MODOK, just shit like that. Like, I think that's cool, and the bigger package, the bigger price. I think the price on that it doesn't really bother me. I think it's kind of fair, but I mean, there's just bigger characters that you could do for. And you don't have to break the bank. Like, test the waters. Like, Jack Pacific does like a 5 foot tall Batman and sells it for $100. Like, they don't anymore, but I mean, a couple of years ago they did. Like, I mean, they could do a 5 foot tall Galactus and sell it for $100. Granted, the articulation is going to be shit, 5 points of articulation, but just for display factor in your toy room, like, I would love to have a 5 foot tall Galactus in here. Granted, you're not going to be able to do shit with them, but it would look pretty good. Well, just stuff like that. Like
I
there's
like our.
other people doing.
Well, now you're getting into a different toy line. That's not Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends is dope ass sculpt, dope ass paint apps, dope ass articulation.
There ain't
You
dope
take
on
away that.
scopes on the comic book shit. A lot of it's just repainted bullshit with some slip-on sleeves and some slip-on boot covers. Like the dope ass sculpts are on the movie line. They definitely do some dope ass sculpts on the movie line. On the comic book shit, they at the end of the budget, like we get what's left. The comic book Marvel Legends collector, like we get the scraps, we get the leftovers. Like we get
Uh,
like they don't reuse body parts on movie figures. Like everything's always new. That's definitely where the money's going.
can I
And
make
then
some
for
complaints? Can I complain about some shit?
yeah,
Like, because there's things that I think, like, there are things that bother me, but I I mean, like the Loki figure, right? Like the comic book Loki figure.
oh my god,
I feel like that wasn't what I was hoping for it to be.
no.
Um, and then they're re-releasing it. You know, I mean, like I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a fan of the. I mean, I already know that you don't like them, but like for me, I do collect the MCU figures and the Falcon and the Falcon Cap and Endgame Captain America 2-pack. That one bummed me out. I was like, oh, and to be honest with you, I wasn't a huge fan of the post con. Like the post con event wasn't necessarily my favorite event that they've held. I like the Fan First Fridays or the Marvel Mondays a lot more than that. I felt
I
like
agree.
it went on too long. I mean, I was really busy that day. I had my kid's birthday going on, so I figured I'll leave it on. And I'll just come back in, and then it just happened to happen. They caught that bad time right there. But um, they're okay. Look, so what I'm basically trying to get at is that I do think you have a point when it comes to the comic book figures not getting as much love as the movie figures. And I feel like the newer characters that we've gotten from the comic books have like they've given new stuff to the newer characters that have come out, but they don't get the same overall, they don't get the same kind of treatment that the movie figures get. And yeah, I'll make a note to complain about
They
that.
give us new stuff that's reusable. Like
That
it's new
what's
stuff.
wrong with that though? I mean, that if it's not dumb, what's wrong with it?
If they could just, I mean, when you take the comic book, if it weren't for the comic book, there wouldn't be anything else. I
Yeah.
definitely think that that should be like when you look at the collectors, like I just from what my viewers or whatever, they're like everybody's like, I'm kind of done with the movie shit. Like if they get when they do a build a figure and in a like a comic with Mr. Fix or Mr. Hyde, they do a movie wave and then they put a comic book build a figure in there. Like that's garbage. Like if
Oh,
you
I
do a
was
movie wave and put a movie build a figure in there, don't try to dupe us into buying a bunch of bullshit that we don't want because a lot of people are picking and choosing like the majority of them I think get the comic book stuff and then the movie shit usually sits on the pegs a little bit longer. I
so
mean unless
for
of
me
course
that
it's like Spider-Man
I
or something.
see I can't complain about that because that personally doesn't bother me because I collect both. But
Right.
but for somebody like you, I could see how that would really piss you off because yeah, you're not invested in the movie stuff, and now you got to get the build a figure. But see, wouldn't yeah that would yeah that I can understand how that sucks. I don't know exactly why they do that. I can't. I definitely cannot explain that, but I can see how that sucks for you. Doesn't
Yeah.
suck for me because I think
Well,
it's fine. But I
look
get
at
what
the
you're
Eternal
saying.
figures. They were warming the pegs the day they came out. Like I don't know how it is in the Bay Area, but out here, you can't go into a store and not see the
Lots of
Eternal
green.
figures.
You'll see lots of green,
I mean,
shiny
they're
green.
everywhere. We got end caps full. We got the whole Hasbro, the whole Marvel Legends sections full. There's just a shit ton of them everywhere. And like, if they would have duped everybody and put like a really badass comic book build a figure in there and hustle people, I'm glad they didn't. Hats off for not because that would really suck if I had to buy the Eternals to get like
Oh
You
God.
know,
To get-
like
yeah,
a
to get
new
like a
figure
toad.
I've been wanting forever.
Yeah, like a Toad. Build a figure Toad
Oh
by
God.
the Eternals wave.
Yeah.
But
When I
I like
watched
that you're kind of I like that you're kind of pushing me because like it's but yeah, that's like I'm trying to make mental notes of things that I should bring up next time
oh bitch, I can just call you and remind you. Like I ain't worried about
no,
that. I'll
I don't need to be
definitely
reminded.
like
It's
when I see your interview, like on
oh
the
yeah, this
Hasbro Plus, like
you want
that
to say
I've never
Hasbro
watched
Plus?
the live streams. I usually on all whenever Hasbro puts something together like that, I wait for either whoever wins, like whoever gets it out first. I either watch your video, Toy Shiz, Boog's video, the recap of the event because you guys have dissected it. You'll
Yeah.
explain things to me, and because I don't really like them. And then this one was the only one that I've watched, but I came in late, so I was able to skim through it. And I was just going, holy fuck, are they always this boring? Like it was shit. Like it was, they revealed like two figures that I was interested in, but then they didn't even have a figure of it, like a picture of the figure. And I was like, this is shit. Like this show was shit. And I was thinking if they called me up and had me sit there on hold, I don't know what your deal was, and sit there on hold for 2 hours
Yeah.
for some bullshit reviews and a bunch of shit that I didn't give a shit about. And then they sit there and they want to ask your guys' fucking reaction. Like when they went to that camera and saw all you
Really?
do sitting in the chairs, every one of you should have looked like this. Like, fuck you. You wasted 2 hours on my Saturday to show me two figures that I care about.
Well,
That
I didn't
sucked,
have my
dude.
finger up, but I mean,
I
I
mean,
mean,
you were
dude,
the only one I had respect for. I was like,
dude,
please let that be on purpose. Like I know it was your kid's birthday. I saw a video like telling me. I was like, holy shit, that was like I was like, please tell me he was bored and he just walked the fuck out on that. I know that wasn't the case. Just let me believe it, Shard. I already know the truth, but it was shit. It was two
well,
hours of
no, it's my
shit.
kid's party, dude. Like, if I'm not gonna just sit there while you know what I mean? Like, come on, like.
Right.
But I
It was
told
a
them.
shit reveal.
So first off, I told them that I have my kid's party that day.
Right.
They said it's fine. You can just come
That
in and
has
out.
nothing to do with it. Let's just
So
accept the fact that you weren't there and it was awesome.
and then Toy Shiz, I don't think he likes his face on camera
He
at
doesn't.
all.
He
So
doesn't.
that's why I think he didn't do it. Is not for him,
That's
sticking it to the
exactly why he
man.
didn't do it. No, no, no.
I think it's just because he
It's
doesn't want his
exactly why he
face on
didn't do it.
camera. Huh? It's
I'm
exactly.
just glad that they didn't call me and ask me to be a part of it because I might have fell for it and I might have been one of those suckers sitting there.
Well, you see,
But I wouldn't have been
that's
blown
what I'm saying
away.
is Talker is talking shit because if they did invite you, you would have done it. You know you would have done it.
But knowing after seeing it, like after I did one, I would be like, all right, I'm good. I'm not doing that shit again.
Oh
But the
yeah, but
fact that they showed us
it was
shit,
not like that last time though. So here's the
but
thing is that you wouldn't have known it would have been like that because it wasn't like that the last time around. The last time around, it was like they brought you up. There was like a waiting room moment for like a minute and a half or something. Okay, you guys ready to go? Boom, there you go. So
you guys can't talk.
last time I was able to talk, you know what I mean, but nobody
When
else
you
was.
sit there, like for this one, you guys, to what it looked like for me, you guys sat there for 2 fucking hours. And I'm like, oh, let's go to our YouTubers. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
this would be cool. Maybe a little interaction. Let them know that the show fucking sucked. It was 2 hours long and they
There's
didn't do shit. Let these
yeah.
guys vent and be pissed that they wasted their fucking Saturday. Like, they're like, holy shit. Like, I could
I,
have did
I
something
know
fun
some
today.
people are,
Like, and then, yeah. And then they go to these fucking guys and I'm like, holy shit. And then some of them tried to pretend like they were entertained by it. Like, and then like when you did an
no, I know
interview of it,
there was one guy that was truly acting for sure. I'm not going to say his name, but we all
right?
know.
Yeah, I think I know the kid,
We
but
all
it
know what
just
that was.
when you get an opportunity to interview the team after some bullshit like that, it would be awesome to see some interviews. We're going, holy fuck, 2 hours? That was really boring. Like you guys really didn't reveal shit. Like that
That
was like
that
that
could have
was
been a Marvel Monday. Yeah, it
that
wasn't.
was nothing great. Like that sucked. And then when I
Did
watched
you
your
guys
read, like,
notice
cause
that in my interview with Hasbro afterwards, I didn't compliment the show? Like nobody noticed that. I feel like
you,
oh,
wouldn't it be
you
fun
fucking shill.
just for
But like, dude, I didn't say anything about that show because first off, I'm so good at being a dick. I try not to be a dick. All right. So
right.
so my
Bring
way
it
of
back. Bring on occasion, Bring it back.
It's
You
a
got
valve and it
600,000
breaks
subs, bro.
open,
You
dude.
can be a dick on occasion. Like, you're gonna be
It
fine.
doesn't. I get the things that I want more with honey than salt. If I'm a
You're not
little bit,
dealing with your wife here, bro. You're dealing with Hasbro.
dude, you just
If you
said
weren't
earlier
bitching
some
about
of the,
double jointed elbows
if you're talking about
for 10
sensitivity,
years,
you're
you
saying
wouldn't
some
have got
people
it.
you're saying some people are sensitive, right?
Yes.
Some people are sensitive. How do
You're
you
one
deal
of
with
them.
that? You either push them away or you bring them in with honey. But if you pour more salt on it and you keep being salty, you're just going to push them away. So
You didn't get double jointed elbows from honey.
I want, yeah,
You
exactly.
did.
That's what I'm saying. Oh,
You
when I
were
busted out the Harley Quinn. But do I have to do that every time? Or if after that, I can be nicer about what I'm asking for, like the toe joints. So here's the thing. Let me ask you next time. Oh man, dinner's still digesting. Do I have to bring out a figure with toe joints to show the toe joints? Because they've talked about doing the toe joints already. They've told me that they're looking at doing it, that they've thought about doing it for Spider-Man.
right.
So do I really still have to be a dick knowing that they
Yes.
actually do the things
Yes.
that I've asked for?
Yes.
Even after they
So say check it out. I don't give a fuck about toy joints, but say all you guys wanted toy joints. When every single say when they after the panel and they interview, they pick 6 guys to interview after the panel. All 6 of you guys were like, "Hey, give me the fucking toy joints." We would get toy joints, but you would all have to get together and say it. Like,
well, they would need to see it from the community in general. They would need to see, like, and this is the thing that I'm trying
You
to get
guys
at.
are
It's
the
like,
voice of the community.
no, it's I don't see it that way. I see it as, hey, look, say, for instance, I would love it if all female figures had camel toe sculpted on there. All
Oh
right.
God!
That would
Now
be
you're
great.
that. Now we got old Shart. Thank you
All
for
female
coming back.
figures have camel toe on there.
Can we get a bigger
That
ass on
is
them too?
that's never going to happen because there's not
Right.
enough people that collect that want the camel toe. I could say it on my platform with
I'll say
600,000
it with you.
subscribers, but it's not going to happen because the majority of the people out there buying these figures don't want camel toe. And that's my word only goes as far as what the majority of the people out there also want to see. So while I have my platform or whatever, I say camel toe doesn't mean there's going to be camel toe. All right. It has to be a shit ton of fucking people going camel toe, camel toe, camel toe. And then we might see it. Look how many people fucking left already for me just bringing up the camel toe. So many people don't want it.
You're
But hey,
kidding
you know
me.
what?
People really don't want it.
Oh, they really don't. They really don't want it.
Okay.
I would love it, but I know most people really don't. That they fucking left. People just fucking left. See? My point is that I don't make the shit happen. I just bring up shit that might also be something that a fuck ton of people want to see. And only in that case does it happen.
Like pinless joints.
Like pinless joints. Yeah. Like pinless joints. That's, so
I caught Dwight at the Mattel booth.
we got a lot of
and
people
he was looking at him.
Camel toe over here in the chat.
See, people want it. The fans have spoken. There's just 600 people right there.
Yeah, yeah. We got to move on to the after party. We kind of went overtime over here, but I think we covered everything, like the big things that we needed to talk about. Was there anything major that you wanted to bring up before we bounce? Because I don't want you to feel like you didn't get to get anything.
I'm pretty good. Are you happy with their character selection? Do you think they're doing a good job? Is there anybody like? My favorite part about Marvel Legends is completing teams.
I'm not worried about them giving me the figures that I want because they know that I'm sure. Look, dude, there's a Toad out there already made. There's a Mandarin figure already made. There's like this shit is there. It's just a matter of the right time when they actually give us the goods. You know what I mean? Like, when you go see your favorite band, which song, the song that everybody knows, they put it at the end of the set, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same kind of thing that Hasbro is doing, is that they reel you in. It's still an art. These figures are still art. So they're reeling the audience in. I know I'm going to get my Mandarin figure. I know I'm going to get a fucking Toad figure. I know all the characters that I want to see. I know I'm going to get a Cardiac one day. I want a fucking Cardiac. I asked for Shriek for so long, and sure enough, I finally have a fucking Shriek sitting over there. I know the characters are coming. The artist
but
is just
now you
playing
need a
games with
carry
their
on.
audience. Say what?
Now you need a carry on.
Yeah, Carry On would be dope.
Like,
Yeah.
when's he coming? Like let's round that up.
Carry On
Here's
would
the
be
thing.
sick.
I've been collecting this shit for 27, 28 years. I still can't put Inhumans team together.
And the Inhumans will come around when they get their Inhumans shit together for the MCU. That's when that's going to happen. They fucked it up with that fucking Hulu show.
Yeah, whatever that thing was.
They're going to retcon that shit. They're going to make an Inhumans movie. And when when the production for that starts, they're going to start making.
Right. And then we'll both I'll be like 80 and you'll be like 70.
It won't be that far down the road. It won't be that long. Will it? Maybe. I don't know. But I don't know for sure. But the characters, I know that the majority of the characters that I want to see, not every single one, because I have some obscure ones that I'd like to see from Spider-Man that like nobody should really want, but I want them.
Well, they finally gave you your webman.
People call me fucking the Hasbro shill thing, but I'm more of a shill for the Marvel characters. I want a kangaroo. Nobody should want a kangaroo, but I want a fucking kangaroo figure in my collection.
Right, and I would too.
You all would too.
I like the
jumping pose that you always like. I want a fucking kangaroo. Nobody should want that, but damn it, I'm gonna be stoked as fuck if Hasbro makes it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be so stoked.
Well, they made Frogman, so
and they gave us Frogman. I'm stoked for the Frogman. I like the Frogman.
Yeah. I like the new characters. It's just when they redo a bunch of characters that I already have, and I'm like, fuck, dude, I got 30 of these things now. Like, it kind of be. Again, like if everybody wants a Spider-Man, they got them.
Goes back to the vintage card thing, not for you. When it's a character that they've done so many times over and over again, that's not for you.
Yeah,
that's basically it. Unless
I'm still gonna buy it. It's not for me, but I would like to not buy it, but I just don't have that kind of willpower. I love this shit too much. I mean, look at my toy room. Like, do I look like a guy that's not passionate about this fucking shitty, stupid hobby? Like, I love it. I'd like to quit it. I can't. I love it. Like, I love this shit, you know? I still like going out hunting for toys. I don't really like chasing all these exclusives down. Is it Amazon? Is it comic book? Is it Walmart?
I've asked them to cut down the exclusives.
I hate that shit. Like, I missed out on that X-Force 3-pack. Like, I saw Foosh got it, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's out!" And I didn't even order one. I'm like, I didn't even know that the order went up, and I was like, that really sucks. Is that something?
He had to have gotten it overseas or something, I think.
Yeah, but it's just something that I really like to have that I don't have, and I don't even have one on order. I'm like, I don't know. When they do the army builders,
do you get jealous when people get stuff like that before you? Like, does it make you upset?
No, not at all. Because I mean, I know it's coming at some point. Yeah. Like that's what reviews are. When you get shit before me, I'm like, holy fuck, he's got this, and I can't wait to watch that video. You know, like, or when Bug does or whatever. And, you know, as far as like, I mean, as much shit as I talk about Bug and I love Bug's channel. He's by far. I mean, I do like your channel. Get jealous, but Bug
is mine used to be okay.
he's by. I just love his angle on it. I love it.
By far the best. Is that
I enjoy him. I do watch yours. I like X Manny too. Like, there's a few that I watch. There's some pretty good reviews out there. I think X Manny's way too. I don't think any figure's ever not got a 10 out of 10. Like, he's I think he's a little too much of a fanboy to be reviewing shit, which I do love his videos. I watch them. I also watch yours, but it's like when you get something before me, I'm like, holy shit. Like, you got that Hercules figure before me, and I was like, holy fuck, I can't wait to watch this review. And then I'm like, is he going to have all the old ones? And then you pulled out all the old ones, and I was like, he's got them. You got your Impossible Man for your Compound Hulk review?
Yeah, and I got my Compound Hulk right over here.
Yeah. Let's see, when they did stuff like that, I was like, all right, because a lot of people were shitting on my Compact. Well, they're like, you actually bought that piece of shit? And I'm like, dude, they finally went full circle on the Red Hulk. Like, this is the missing link.
You have so many people that think you hate Hasbro. That you have so many people watching that don't read in between the lines and don't realize that you're a huge
But those
fanboy.
people aren't for my channel. Like, I'm not trying
They
to
love
get to
watching it
600
because
then.
okay. You know the band The Offspring?
I do like them.
Okay, I love them. That's my favorite band. Back in high school, they had this song called "Cool to Hate." All right, and they had this whole thing where like I hate the jocks and I hate the geeks, I hate the trendies and I also hate the freaks. Yeah, I hate your mom. I hate TV. I'm only happy when I'm in my misery. It's cool to hate. Yeah, right. I'm a teenager listening to that shit, going, yeah, it's fucking cool to hate. Yeah, fucking I hate them. I hate that. I hate this guy. I hate you too. Fuck you. Right. As I get a little bit older, I realize the song is making fun of and mocking people that are constantly just fucking negative and just only feel good if they're hating. You know what I mean?
Right.
He was making fun of me that whole
Right.
time. He was actually making fun of me, but because I'm sitting there going like, yeah, cool to hate, but he's actually making fun of me.
Right.
Like you and the people that actually really get that pissed off, you're
Well,
riling them up without them realizing that you're actually a fan of this shit.
well, you called me out perfectly on my Fantastic Four video. You talk shit about them for 15 minutes, and then you kiss their ass for 15 minutes. It's
Yeah.
love hate.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love it and I hate it. Like I hate that I'm personally not getting what I want, and I just vent what bothers me. Like my
Mhm.
channel is not for everybody, obviously. Like I'm definitely
Right.
on my own angle. Like I'm not here to give you. If they want a good review, they're gonna check you out. They're gonna check Boog out. They're gonna check it. There's a lot of good toy review. Well, there's not a lot of good. There's a couple really good toy
It
reviewers
all
out there.
helps. Watch a
You're
bunch
one
of
of them.
different reviewers, watch a bunch of different reviews, and then come up with your own decision, right? Like that's what I think is a good thing to do. Watch my video, watch Talker's video, watch Boog's video, watch a few others, and come up with your own conclusion on what you're gonna do with your money, because it's your fucking money at the end of the day. You know?
Well, you saved me $27 on a 2099 Spider-Man. So good
Great.
looking on that one. I saw that
Yeah.
review and I was like, whoo, he
Oh
just
yeah.
saved me
If it
some
was
money.
me, yeah. If it was the other way around, you know what I mean. If I wasn't doing the YouTube thing full time, you know what I mean, then it would be the same thing with me. You know what I mean. I would pass on it,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to keep that figure or not. I put it back in the box. I cut little lines at the bottom of it and
Take that shit
put it back.
back, son. Take it
Well,
back.
it's yeah. I don't know. I might sell it. I might keep it. I don't know. I tend
Yeah.
to, when I review stuff, I kind of like to keep it. So
Cool.
I think. All right, that's it. Did you want?
All right. Hey, just to let you guys know, almost all of you YouTubers, and I will continue to talk shit about all of you guys, but it comes with love.
I
Hopefully
know.
nobody gets offended.
I
And you guys don't
only.
jump me at Comic-Con if we ever have a real one again. Are you going to the Thanksgiving one?
No, I don't. No, dude. I don't.
We're going to. My chick was like, "You want to go to Florida Keys? Or you want to go to that shitty Comic-Con where there's not going to be anybody there?" And I was like, "Let's go to the Keys." So I'm going to pass on this one. It's
Okay,
on
yeah, I'm
Thanksgiving
passing too.
weekend. Like it just seemed. My boy Broccoli's going. He's super excited about it, but he
Oh
ain't got
yeah.
nothing going on in his life but toys. So, um, I don't know. I was hoping you would go for you could talk shit about it or let me know how it is, but I don't know. It's just a tough go. Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, I mean the time of year is just awful for it. I do need a break. I don't know if I'm going to spend my break doing that. I'd rather spend it kind of like just with the family. So
You come on down to the Keys with me, bro. We'll fucking go snorkeling and shit.
that'd be sick.
You
That'd be
know
nice.
you can get a round trip ticket to Florida for $199 right now. You can do all that, right?
Yeah, nobody wants to go to fucking Florida right now, dude.
Florida's amazing. It's always
I've
amazing. I
never.
want to move
That's
there.
actually no. I would love to go to Florida. I'm just saying that. I'm just, just kind of referencing like the COVID case shit. You know what I mean? That's my
You
own
know they
thing.
have the lowest numbers in the United States right now.
Oh, that's great. I'm happy to hear that. That's good.
Yeah, they do.
But
All
I
right,
don't
bro.
know.
I love you.
I might go.
Well, next time you want to share a bed for Comic-Con or whatever, you let me know. Even if they only have one twin size, I didn't complain last time. All right.
You're a very quiet sleeper, by the way. Just so...
You snore, but
Yeah.
once I poke you, then you seem to stop snoring.
I
Hey,
sing.
but
I sing. I go from
that's a
snoring to
different
sing. Ah!
it's a story for a different time. All right, Shark,
All
stay
right,
up.
bro. All
Later,
right.
man.
I don't know if you're down for the after party or not, but we're doing the after party thing for about almost another hour. It's up to
What
you.
is that?
It's on Patreon, and those that are Patreon and members, it's exclusive for them. So
What, we just keep talking shit about each other for another
yeah,
hour?
yeah.
Oh, I wish you would have told me that like 30 minutes ago, and we could have did the Patreon thing after.
Oh,
But
okay.
I
Maybe
think
next
I'm
time.
done.
All right. All good. All
I
good.
think we said it all, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I,
I don't. I
I'm
think.
glad that I'm really glad that we did this, because
Me too.
the next time I talk shit about you, you won't have to call me and go, "What the fuck did you do that for again?"
God, it's just that there's so many people that just buy into the fucking negative. It's a
Tell them
serious
to,
fucking thing,
whenever they
dude.
do that shit on my channel, like when they used to talk shit about you all the time, I'd be like, "Hey, fucking love Shart, fuck off." Like, you know, you don't have to watch my shit. Like,
Thanks.
you know, like, I don't care. Like, they even talked shit about Toy Shiz one time. They're like, "Oh, Toy Shiz is a shill too," and which I didn't even know what shill was until you told me. And then and I was like, "Toy Shiz, a shill, Toy Shiz," but it just, I don't really give a shit what they say
Yeah, I don't really fucking care either.
when they
It's just that
criticize
this,
me. I just tell them to fuck off and go watch your channel.
yeah,
So
it's just the scale of it with the number of followers I have. It's like a lot of people. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's like when you move, so it's like how many haters do you have? Like for every 10 haters you have, I have 100. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's like it's a bigger scale of negativity that this is supposed to be a fucking fun thing. And
yeah.
I don't get upset about you necessarily, just making it very clear. Once again, I'm not upset about you talking shit. I'm just upset about the people that don't understand where you really stand. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because some people
those
say like, "Oh,
people.
Shart and I are friends." You know what I mean? I would talk, and it's like some people could just like really think, "Oh, like
I
oh,
clearly
they're
say that in
cool."
my video. Like, I clearly
Yeah,
say that I got love for you. Like, I clearly say that we're friends. Like, I
yeah,
clearly,
I
but
know.
they don't want to hear that. They
Yeah,
want to
they don't wanna
hear,
believe, and I think, yeah, people don't wanna hear that, and they don't wanna believe that. They're probably thinking, "Oh, he's saying that so that Shart's fans don't all gang up on him."
a
That's
lot
what
of
they're
people
thinking.
that watch my channel, they want me to hate you.
Yeah.
You know, they'll try to
Mhm.
encourage the hate, and I'm like, "Oh,
Exactly.
he's actually a really cool guy." Like, if you met him at a show, like, I mean, I remember the first time I met you, you came up to me like, "Hey, TalkerArt, you got that crazy collection." I was like, "Holy shit!" And you're unbelievable. You actually took a minute out of my day. Then I watched you walk around Comic Con, and everybody came up to you. It wasn't just a picture. It wasn't just a hi. You give them 30 seconds of your day or more, and I was like, "Holy shit!" That was amazing, and people don't really see that about you, because you did that to me. Like, I've like approached other YouTubers, and I was like, "Oh, you know what, if you know, Sharp broke the ice, Unparalleled Universe broke the ice, he was super cool to me." And then I've talked to other YouTubers, and they just kind of shine me and be like, eh. I'm like, "Man, that dude's kind of a dick compared to Shart. Like, Shart was actually really cool to me, and this guy's
Alright.
kind of a dick." Like, you know, some people, I don't know, they let the you're a dude YouTube and action figures. Like, you're really not that cool, bro. Like, not
Yeah.
saying you, but just in general. Like, a lot of
Well, I see.
people, they just, I don't know, man. I'm just not feeling their attitude. Like, they walk around with a chip on their shoulder all day, and it's like, I didn't get that with you at all. Like, you were actually like, "Holy shit, this dude is actually really cool. Like, I actually wouldn't mind being this dude's friend." Like, when I went to Comic Con one year, I was like, "Hey, I got like one nerd friend. I'm going to Comic Con. If anybody wants to hang out, let me know." And then Toy Shiz hit me up. He's like, "Fuck, I'll hang out with you. I don't have any nerd friends either." And then we cruised around the shows, buddied up for every show. But I mean, now we kind of, and he definitely, he puts a lot of work into this. Like,
Oh,
it's
fuck
kind
yeah,
of,
dude.
and
He's
I
pushes
know
his
you do too.
hustling, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, me
and
too. I'm
so
working, but yeah, I mean, so
me
is
too.
Toy
I've
Shiz.
seen you at the shows, and it's definitely more of a work than a play. And for me, it's just, I'm there to fuck off, fuck with people, have a good time. Like, no work involved. Take a couple pictures. Can't wait to see Dwight for I can fucking bust his balls about something. You know, it's a totally different show for me than you. And then, like, because when I see Toy Shiz, I'm like, "Hey, you want to go get some pizza?" He's like, got an interview, got to shoot, got it. I'm like, okay, like, I mean, you guys do what you do. It's fun. It's vacation for me. It's fun for me. It's kind of a job for you guys, which Toy Shiz doesn't make money on it. But he definitely, man, he's coming up quick. Like he definitely has.
Those links, those I think there
Yeah,
might be something,
it
you know,
hit my
links.
link. Hit my.
Yeah,
Everybody does the hit my
you get
link these
any,
days.
yeah, you're asking for any clicks. A click is a click. Click is 0.01
Yeah.
or whatever, but it all adds up. Just one thing to mention, that to this day, I fucking I, I love that fucking moment when we went to Mattel and the dude that made the Batmobile fucking geeked out over seeing you.
Right. That
That was
was
fucking cool
blew
as
blew
shit.
me
I was
away.
so stoked for you. That was like, I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that is fucking cool as hell to see. Because I've had it happen to me before, but to watch it happen to somebody else right in front of me, I was like, fucking sick. That's so cool. This fucking internet is amazing, man. It's great
Yeah,
that we're
it's because I think like nobody watches my videos. I'm like, nobody watches my shit. I got like 1,000 views on that shit. Like, who are the 1,000 people that actually saw it? And then you're like, a lot of these people. Because I wonder how many videos Hasbro's watched of mine or any. Like, I don't know. Like every time I fucked with them about pinless joints, it was to Dwight's face or to Jesse's face. Or of course I say it on my videos, but I don't know if they watch my videos. They've never said, "Hey, watch your videos." I don't know if they do that to you or to anybody. You know, I don't know what they watch. If they watch mine, they definitely
they
don't.
watch me a little bit. I know they watch
Yeah,
me. I know they watch me a little bit, but I don't. But I think they're watching. They watch the Foosh for sure. I know. I know they watch me. I know they watch Anthony's Customs. I know they watch the Foosh. I think they watch a little bit of everybody. To be honest with you, though, I think
yeah,
they watch MCU Collector 24, X-Man 87. I know they follow him. I know they
yeah.
follow Hero Black. I know they watch Boog. I mean, they're watching a lot of people. I really think these fucking guys care. These guys really care about what they're doing. I really think they want to make cool stuff. And it's harder to convince me that they're trying to rip people off than they're trying to make cool shit because they keep making cooler shit that I want to see.
Uh, yeah.
Like
I mean,
it's got my
I'm on
female
the
double
fence.
jointed elbows. Hey, the thing I'm bitching about now, the thing I'm honestly complaining about now is fucking bendy wire. Like, let's get some fucking bendy wire in this toy line without it being so fucking weak. Like the fucking Mr. Fan. I mean, I don't know why like the radius has to be so fucking thick now. That's the part that frustrates me is that like it apparently the scorpion tail is like as thin as they could go, but then they could go thinner with the Mr. Fantastic arms. So I'm like, well, what
I'm
the
not a
fuck?
huge fan of the bendy wire. Like, I know that you guys say it a lot, but I don't really pose my stuff like you guys do. I'm kind of like
Mhm.
a one and done. So it doesn't really like on the bendy wire stuff. Like, because I have, you do have the old Mr. Fantastic, the movie figure, the one where the whole entire figure was bendy wire and you could like wrap them around the thing. Did you ever get that one?
Wait, say that again.
Let me grab him real quick. I'll just show you. Just give me 1 second.
I
I got him
honestly,
right.
I honestly got. I was looking at. They watch your vids, just with a different approach. Just want to read what you guys are saying. Sharmus, when can we buy your action figures? I'll most likely have a relaunch next year, so you could stay tuned till that. Camel toe with bendy wire.
Do you remember this?
Oh, I love that figure. I have it still. Yeah,
Like,
that's a
if
good
you're
one.
gonna do something like this,
Mm-hmm.
then this is like Dustin
That's right.
Flanton.
That was just an accessory. That Mr. Fantastic was just an accessory.
He was.
Yeah, he came with
Yeah,
the thing figure. That
I
was
wasn't.
that thing
I
wasn't even a
wasn't doing
figure set.
reviews back then. So yeah, like this
Yeah.
was
I was buying. Yeah, I was buying those. But I
like
love
that
those Fantastic Four figures were actually really badass.
back
My
then.
favorite
Yeah,
my favorite one was the Mr. Fantastic with all the different pieces that you could switch. And
with the arm. Oh, it had the tall one.
well, you could add like an extra set of thighs or an
Yeah,
extra
and then he's like
bicep or an extra
12 inches
forearm.
tall when you're done.
Yeah, yeah. And the leg
Yeah,
there's the neck
I got
piece.
him right behind me, but he falls apart. Do you still have him?
I ended up buying two of them because I had some of it kind of didn't last, so I needed to like mix match them to make like
Yeah,
a
I
good set.
still
I was
have
all
mine,
about
but
it.
the pieces don't lock in anymore. So if I
I don't,
pick him up, he like falls apart. So I just got him laying down on my shelf because he doesn't really. I'd have to glue them together, but then you can move them. And it's kind of like whatever. But now I'm trying to I would like to just sell like all of my movie shit except for Iron Man, like because I just love the movie Iron Man stuff. But all the other stuff, like the Fantastic Four stuff, it's like they've kind of scratched my itch on the comic book stuff to where I don't really feel like I need the movie stuff. And then I don't know, I just love like when I get a set, like when there's a set like Marvel Legends with a build a figure out, that's like my crack. Like I cannot wait to get that shit on myself, especially when there's like, say there's like some old school like Spider-Man villains in there.
Armadillo Wave, dude. I'm stoked as fuck. I got this Armadillo Wave sitting right here.
That was good, but then they threw the movie figures in and kind of took a little excitement out for me because it was like Moreland, like I was like, okay, this is fucking awesome. Shriek, this is fucking awesome. Armadillo, I had no clue who Armadillo was. Couldn't wait, to get him on my shelf, look up a YouTube video, who's who, like who was this guy. Like one other thing I love when you break that down, like a lot of times then you'll get a figure first. I'm like, holy shit, who is this fucking guy? I'm like, well, did Shart do a review yet? Did Bug do a review yet? Like, I love how you guys break that down and you explain it to me. Like, I tried
back to the comics.
I tried doing that a little bit. Then it was just like I just felt like I was copying you guys, and I said, you know what? If we want to know a good backstory of the character, there's great channels for that. Like, and I'll just be like, hey, if you want to see a backstory of this, Shart's got a video out. Go check that out. Or X-Man, he does a pretty good job on the on the storytelling thing. Like I just did a video of that Compound Hulk, and then I did like a little backstory, which I normally don't do. I only did it because the reviews that I saw of it, I wasn't real happy with it.
It's because I hadn't done my review yet.
Well, if you would have did one, then I wouldn't have did a whole story breakdown of it, because it'd be like, well, fuck, if you want a good breakdown, he's going to do a better job than I'm going to do. Then it was like, go watch his channel. Or Bug also, his angle of video is pretty good too. So
see, this is the other thing that, like, yeah, it just frustrates. Look what you're doing, dude. You're showing so much love for the collecting community and all the.
Well, I do love you guys, but I hate you guys at the same time. Like when you sit there for 2 hours,
you love us
in
more
a
than
chair. Yeah, I know, but I like all my friends.
I didn't sit
like
2 hours in a chair. That I have proof.
No, I know you didn't, but everybody else did, and it was pretty sad to see him sitting there, falling asleep, like going, oh my god, this is shit. And the sad thing is they could call all 20 of those dudes up and they'd do it again tomorrow. But not saying that I won it. I'm just glad that they didn't call me for that one. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I do love you guys, but I'm still gonna talk shit about you when you have an opportunity to do interviews. And I'm like, softball question, softball question, softball question.
What,
and I'm like,
what was the softball question that I asked?
Your last interview, I watched.
I just want to know what. I just give me like two.
I would have to. I didn't write it down. I watched.
I tried
Dan
really
interview.
hard to. I actually really tried hard to ask good questions that time. So I want to know, like, which one was the softball.
I didn't. I just was like. I mean, the show sucked. You could have started with it, dude. That show was kind of lame. Your reveals weren't that great.
I like using Honey, so I just didn't even bring it up.
I get that. Honey also relates as no gag reflex. Like, you call it Honey, I call it no gag reflex.
You could be cordial. You know what
I
I mean?
I watched Dan who's
gag
interview.
Reflex. If I had no gag reflex, then I would have started out saying, "Hey, that was the best PulseCon I ever heard or saw. That was amazing."
Can you send me another big giant box of shit that I don't want? That I'm gonna just fucking either give away or sell?
Well, no, I'm keeping all the stuff except for the Marvel Legends. By the way, holy crap! Hey, can you talk shit about me for like the next 2 minutes? I gotta grab something really quick.
Yeah, do
all right,
cool. Do it.
All right, I'm trusting you with my.
Yeah. We're good. We'll cover. All right, guys. So when he did that interview, I watched Dan Who's interview. It was horrible. It was just nothing but ass kissing. I watched Boog's interview. I thought it was pretty good. His interviews are kind of interesting. And then I watched Shart's interview. Come on, guys. Watch those 3 interviews and you tell me, does Shart need to pick his game up on his interviews? I think that he definitely does. He's a little soft with his questions. Oh, shit. All right, we're good. I think he's coming back. Hey, there he is.
What was the softball question?
I could watch it and text it to you. Like,
let me know. I just
But
want to know because I really did try to ask good questions.
did you see Boog's interview with him?
I did. Oh yeah, Boog's got another thing going with his interviews where he uses the ACBA community to just like fucking just reel down like all the shit that he just wants.
Yeah, I thought his
You know, this makes-
interview, it was definitely, I felt like he was like it was a paid interview, but I was entertained by it. Dan Who's was just, which I like Dan Who, but I thought his interview was just garbage. Like he can't wait to suck their dick. Like him and X Manny, like they just like one of them's on the dick, one of them's on the balls. Like they just share that shit. Like they love that Hasbro dick, which I love both of them. But I don't know, like the interview things. I want
they
to
could,
see hard questions. I want to see Dwight squirm. I want to see him like, you know, like when
like
your guys ask questions like, you know, we can't answer that. Well, why the fuck
you know,
can't you answer it? I'm not
it's
trying
not
to.
always the easiest thing too. Like again, this is an art form. If you were to meet the lead singer of your favorite band and get to talk to that guy face to face or over a Zoom thing, would the first thing you think of was to think of the albums that you liked the least and all the shittiest songs first, or are you gonna think of the shit that you like the most?
I mean,
What's
when
gonna
I
come to
see
mind
Dwight
first? I'm
at
just saying,
Comic Con,
you're a big fan of the shit. You're gonna think just naturally of the shit that you like the most over your least favorite song, right?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
I usually
when does that
when I
happen?
see Dwight at Comic Con, I usually kiss him on the cheek, and then I smack him in the face. Like I like, hey, this is great, and then I slowly get into the beatdown. When I
See,
see him at the Mattel booth, it's just the gloves are off. I'm like, Dwight, are you fucking kidding me? These dudes are crushing you with the original sculpts. They're crushing you with pinless articulation. They're crushing you with a character selection. Like, what the fuck, Dwight? Like, I go to your booth and you guys look like 19 fucking 76 on the action figures. Like, you need to step your shit up. Like,
see,
and they
I'd
don't
rather have
take
it
that
be like
very
a
well.
nice gentleman handshake. That's the way I look at myself is I have a nice gentleman handshake. And then if the fucking shit's not giving me like if I feel like they're lackluster on something or another, I start squeezing or turning the wrist around. You know what I mean?
And
Like it
that's
doesn't have
great.
to
That
be more
you
dramatic
guys
than
are
that.
there for that. I'm
Well,
here
I
to
still
come at a
twist.
different angle.
I still twist. It doesn't have to be, full on beat down. You can still get
Yeah.
what you want. But let's see. Let's see. Is I want to know if I could get them to do something that I want to see in the toy line without being a total dick about it. Like, can that
What do you
happen?
really want? What do you want?
I want
Name
toe
three?
joints.
Oh, you do really want that.
I want toe joints, and I want a Doc Ock with fucking bendy wire in it. Doc Ock with bendy wire in it, I want more than anything right now. That's
Do
like
you
the thing.
remember back in the day when they would do a set of Marvel Legends and then they would do like a repainted set of that Marvel Legends? Like they
Oh,
would
for
do
the UK release or something?
no,
Like,
they for us, they would like repaint like not the like the old shit.
oh, the
Like
Toy Biz days? Like when they were
yeah, like
series
say
six?
they did Spyro silver and then they did her gold. And then they would do like
Oh,
Wolverine, but then they'd put him in a brown costume for the same wave, but with a repaint. Like they would, a lot of the waves they released 2 times.
right, like the Wolverine. Yeah.
That's shit that I would, because you would be like, I can choose to buy it, I can choose not to buy it. Like, do I really want these paint variants? Because a lot of the paint variants like meant a lot. They were like, holy shit, like that's actually a variant costume that I used to wear, and it's really cool that they did that. Like, I love when they would do that. Like
Oh, you
that
know what I
was
hated was when they did when they did something kind of like not necessarily the exact opposite of what you're talking about, but remember the Giant Man Build-A-Figure wave? When
yeah.
the variant had a different Build-A-Figure piece? Holy fuck, that pissed me off.
I
That
mean,
pissed me the fuck
I
off.
already had the Giant Man like on the first go, so it
So you
wasn't
had to
really a
buy
thing.
you had to buy all the variants. So you had to buy both of those AOA Wolverines. You had to buy both the long
I can't
hair.
remember that.
Yeah, I remember that shit. That really pissed me off. And then you had to buy at least 2 different sentries, and there was 4 fucking sentries.
I do remember this. I have all 4 centuries. Like,
See,
so
that's
I do.
ridiculous. Oh,
The
okay, we're
long
talking
hair,
about
the short
gag
hair, the
reflex
yellow, the
over here. Shit.
mustard. Like, yeah, I remember that. And then
I thought that was bullshit. I mean, there is bullshit happening back then, but
back then there wasn't a lot of shit to buy, and the action figures were affordable. Like, cause you would like, I mean, that's back when I was out. I was buying a bunch of like weird shit just because I got tired of going to like stores all day long, and then you walk out with like the Mighty Duck line. Like you're like, you just buy shit that you really didn't think that you were gonna buy.
Yeah.
But
what would you say the biggest change to Marvel Legends needs to happen over anything else? I got like what's like the biggest thing that needs to happen with the line that you think, like, what's the biggest shortcoming? Like me, I want toe joints. It's gonna lean towards that. ¿Qué pasó? All right, wait, just give me just 1 second. Think about that. The one last thing that you really want to see.
Hey, do you guys think that them taking away the Build-A-Figure is bullshit? Because they're just conditioning you to totally eliminate the Build-A-Figure. Shart, he's on that Hasbro dick, so he doesn't want to admit that. And I'm gonna seize. They gotta give us the Build-A-Figure. They need to give us better accessories.
Hey, look, the only dick I suck is the viewers. It's all about the viewers. That's where the mortgage gets taken care of. It's the viewers.
Right.
It's the viewers over anybody else. I review more Marvel Legends on the channel than anything else because that's what the viewers watch more than anything else.
Same on my channel. And then when I start reviewing too many Marvel Legends, people go, "What the fuck? Is this another Marvel Legends channel?" And I'm like, "Holy shit!"
You gotta change it up.
It kind of looks like that, but then I'll do Jurassic Park, and I get like 2 views versus 10,000 views. Exactly. And it's like. Who am I doing it for? For the 2 people that wanted to actually, which I love the Jurassic Park. I like it just as much as Marvel Legends, but nobody gives a fuck about those videos. Yeah. Like, that.
Did you get an Apatosaurus?
I did. I reviewed
There you go, motherfucker. Yeah. See,
thanks for watching. Thanks for watching my video, asshole. Oh, you could have just said, "Hey, I saw your video of the Apatosaurus," but you didn't fucking watch it.
I only watched it. You didn't talk shit about me in that video. Of course I didn't watch it.
Well, that's because whenever I talk shit about you, everybody will message you and go, "He's doing it again." He's doing it again. You need to check him out. This guy is not your friend.
No, I honestly wanted to. I wanted to see what you had to say because I just wanted to check out the beginning of the video a little bit.
You don't ever check out my videos for a decent toy review?
Not until after I review it myself. I'll watch the beginning of some videos here and there, but I
don't worry. You're not gonna steal any technique from me, bro. I ain't coming in with no fire.
I honestly will accidentally take notes from other people's videos just by watching them. So like when it got to the part where you started sucking Hasbro's dick in your Fantastic Four review, I cut it off right there.
Yeah, and that's a good part to cut it off at. But I mean,
what's the number one thing? What's the number one thing you want to? By the way, patrons, members, I'm gonna have to do another exclusive live stream on a different night because at 9:00 I really do have to go because I put my oldest to bed and she can't fall asleep without me, so she's transitioning into her own bed right now, so I really do have to leave at 9. But so I'll do another exclusive live stream for patrons and members either tomorrow, maybe tomorrow or maybe a different day, but I'll figure it out. But so you can hang out for like 15 more minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I got no life.
Okay, you got a pretty cool collection though.
I could be at work at 6, but I'm good.
Oh shit, yeah. What do you think is like the biggest thing that really needs to happen with Marvel Legends that's not happening?
What I would really like to see, am I alone on this? Like, what I would really like to see that when Todd did that Cygor Gorilla, what the fuck are you laughing at?
I'm laughing
He's
at this
working.
right here because we're both singing, and Joey's actually is working at being a paleontologist. But I'm sorry. Okay, so go on, Cygor.
The Cygor that Todd did, $20, that big giant. Did you get one?
The
That
Raw
big giant
10.
Cygor, the hollow one.
Yeah, the hollow. I have it. Yeah.
Wouldn't you like to have something like that for a mole man monster? Or would you
You
rather
wanted
spend $200 on a mole man monster to get like some super articulated one? Or do you even give a fuck about the mole man? I love Fantastic Four. I love them. I have a Fantastic Four tattoo on my arm. Like I have the statues. I love Fantastic Four. So to
for a mole man monster. I mean, God, dude. Honestly, if they made a Roto figure like that, I would be pissed.
you
I would
would
I would rather have a fully articulated figure. Yeah, I want like a dense, heavy, like real, like bulky
a
figure.
real action figure.
Yeah, I want a real action.
Granted, that's going to cost $200-300.
Well, if there were some other figures that they knocked off the list, if that would make, like, if I were to ask for 10 big figures, that would be somewhere around number 7. They
What other
knocked
big
off.
figures do you want?
There's dude. First off, give me fucking Hank Pym, ultra sized Hank Pym, and all the different variations. I'm down for fucking that. Like, give me a giant man, fucking yellow jacket, fucking even the fucking Hawkeye giant man. You know what I mean? Like like I don't know. I could use a bunch of those. I would rather have those. Um, they could even like redo Fin Fang Foom and make an even bigger Fin Fang Foom.
I could
They
be on
would do
board with
that.
that. What do
That
you
would be
think about?
sick as fuck.
What do you think
Quinjet,
about?
X-Jet, like all kinds of huge stuff that I would rather have, I guess, before a Mole Man monster, but I would still want one. And when I would get it, I would hope it's like super fucking dense, like it's a
Right.
chunky fucking hefty
Yeah.
thing. He's all tubed out. It's got to be big.
All right. Yeah. I guess I'm the only one on that.
Well, see, that's a funny thing, but that's like the number one thing that you think needs to happen to Marvel Legends is that we have
No, I
all the
think that.
figures.
I think that they need to put the build a figure back or a better accessory back. I think that the character selection is. I don't know some because I just a lot of times I get a wave and I'm like, okay, these two figures I really want it, and the rest of the wave, it's not that I don't want it, but it's just definitely not exciting. Like I'm not a huge fan of Age of Apocalypse. I don't have that set yet. If I was a huge fan, I would have got it here somehow, some way. Like I missed it in Walmart. Target hasn't got it yet. I'm just like kind of I'll get it when I get it. I like Age of Apocalypse, but it's definitely not like 90s X-Men. It's definitely not like
Oh,
90s Spider-Man or I mean all the 90s shit. That's my shit. When they make like I'm getting that shit, I'm getting it quick, I'm getting it fast. I don't care if I get the first review up, but I just want that shit on my like the Fantastic Four. I the fact that we got two new villains and I'm all over Fantastic Four's dick. Like I
me
just
too,
like
man. I want
granted they're just shitty repaints, but it's Fantastic Four. Like that guy, that's I love Fantastic Four, so I bought into it. So it didn't really bother me that bad that they're a bunch of shitty repaints. Did you
yeah,
get that set yet, or you have
yeah.
those?
I'm gonna start reviewing that set next week.
Do you
Um,
is
I haven't
Sue's
opened
face
any.
as bad as you thought?
It looks awful to me. It
I
looks horrible.
didn't. It didn't.
I haven't opened
Yeah,
her yet, but I looked at it and I thought, oh fuck,
because I
it's just
think I watched the video. We were like, man, her face looks like shit, or somebody did. And then I looked at her face, and I was like, it's not great, but it was kind of a different look. So I didn't really, because people are like, why didn't you hate on it? And I was like, that's because I didn't really hate on it. I didn't
see
think it
that's
was that
tough.
bad.
So now you're the shill. Now you're the
Yeah.
one who's the
Oh,
shill.
sucking it up.
I really didn't like it. I really didn't like it. But if I liked it, I would say I liked it. I have no problem saying I like shit. But yeah, that face so far, I looked at it while it was in the box. Like, damn it. Like for me,
Yeah.
that one's just like a loss. Like I keep in mind I buy stuff. I want to review everything. So if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would not pick up that whole wave. I would just get the new characters.
Yeah.
Maybe the Human Torch. That Human Torch looks like it's actually pretty. I like that red. Looks pretty cool. But like,
He's
yeah,
good.
And I like that Reed has the lab coat. I think that's pretty sick. So going back to it, like character selection is like the number one thing that Hasbro needs to fix, like in your opinion. Like
For
that's
me personally, but I don't think that in general that's their problem. Like I don't.
Is it pricing? Is pricing the biggest problem you have?
The pricing, but I mean, what are you going to say? They're not lowering the price. Once it goes up, it stays up. Like it never comes down. That's why when it
Mhm.
jumps to $22.99, I'm like, fuck, that's never coming down. Like it's
No.
never. And then when it jumps to 25, like on the retro cards where a lot of like Tigra and shit, like I got at a GameStop, it's like $27 when you get it out the door, and it's like that's never coming down. Like the price doesn't come down on shit. Like so, you just have to accept the fact that
Mhm.
a set of figures is going to cost like $150, which I mean I do fairly well. I think you do fairly well, but it's like it doesn't break my bank. But I'm like sitting here going, like when I see these other YouTube channels, they're like, "Hey, saw these today, didn't pick them up." They didn't pick them up because they didn't want them. They didn't pick them up because they couldn't fucking afford them. And it's like we're not collecting gold here. Like they're action figures. Like granted, they're gonna be a little pricey, but when you're pricing collectors out of the market, like you're selling less figures, but how does it equal out for you? Like because they're fucking expensive. Like I know that your figures, which congratulations. I hope that I hope that works out for you on making yours. Like I mean,
Thank
I'd
you.
love to see like you come up and you're like some crazy fucking millionaire off of action figures. I mean, I got nothing for love you. I think that'd be great. Then you could actually afford to send me a set for free, and I could shit all over them, which I wouldn't. I would fake the review. Like I would have to. I'd be like,
For
they're
me, you'll
great.
shill. Will you shill
They're
for me?
great. They're great. I'll chill like a motherfucker for you. I'll be like, you guys got to get on board with these. I don't know if he has any left, but I don't know because I see that and I understand that they're like, I think they're $40 each, and
They're
I'm like, I get it. I know why they're $40 each. It's a small run. He's a new guy, and I get it. But then I also look at it and I'm like, fuck, $40 is a lot of money for people, not just your figure, just whenever figures are 40. Like when I collect Masters of the Universe, which I like that set, but I don't love it. I started on it because I wanted He-Man, Skeletor, the core characters, and then I the completist in me. I was like, I have to get every one, and I don't like every one. And now I'm sitting here looking at, like, I think my cost on my He-Man set was $13,000. Like, that's cost on it. Like, and it's like when you look at this, you're like, those things were $40 each back then. After you buy Jim, you got them shipped on your doorstep. $40 for a shitty He-Man figure. They're not even great toys. The articulation is shit. The pins look like shit. Which I grant it's He-Man and they're kind of supposed to look like shit. They got that classic look, but when they're $40 each, and I was like, God, like damn, like I was praying for that line to be over, for I could just wrap it up and be done. Got my Snake Mountain, and it's just like, and now I sit here and I look at it and I added it all up, and I'm like, holy fuck, I think I spent $13,000 on this. And I kind of like, I want to sell it, but I don't want to get ripped off on it. And I don't want to sell it piece by piece because you know how fucking hard that is. Like
yeah.
selling, what is it? It's 333 figures or something, one at a time. Like, dude, dude, that would take a year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I just sold a couple today, and it's just like barely like dipping into like some stuff I set aside that I need to get rid of.
Right.
I know exactly. I can't get rid of the stuff that I need to sell fast enough because it's just a matter of time. I need toy shows. I used to do toy shows and sell my
How'd
stuff
you do
at
on
toy shows.
those?
I would
Did you
actually
do
do a lot
good?
better on the shirts and my own Shartimus merch than the toys, but I would get rid of a lot of stuff. I would sell a good chunk of stuff. I mean, it's definitely built up because of COVID from not doing those shows. So,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, that I forgot the next point I was going to make. I just wanted to mention again
When
that
you sell them, do you sell them like, because I don't want to get, when I sell my shit, because I just recently started selling my shit, I just went on eBay, looked at what they were going for, and I sold it just a little bit less. you know, because I want to give people a fair price, but then I don't want to get ripped off. And to do that, it's a lot of work on each figure. And when you're getting down to a $15, $20 action figure, and it costs you $5 to $15 to ship it, like it gets to a point to where it's unsellable. Like
Well, I mean,
nobody.
yeah, I mean, like stuff that has gone up in value, like big, like stuff that's gone up big on eBay. Like say,
Right.
like say something that's gone.
Dragon Man.
Okay, like if I had a Dragon Man that I was selling, I would look at the cheapest Dragon Man sold. I would look at the most expensive Dragon Man sold, and then I'd go right in the middle,
That's what I do.
and then I'd be willing to negotiate from there. I actually did that, and I actually had an experience where I was selling something. I was selling a Mafex figure through my Instagram, and I went with that method, and then someone had told me, "Oh, I'm good," and I had a couple of people tell me, "Oh, I'm good." I was like, "Wow, I thought that was a really fair price." I was like right in the middle, and then one person was like, "I could actually buy this cheaper on this online store," and I'm like, "Wait, it's available online still?" And I looked, and there it was, and I was like, "Oh, fucking shit! Well, hey, I'll match that. I'll bring my price down to what that is. Then fuck it."
Right.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's
So
what I do too.
yeah, so I'm not, but like I'm selling like the stuff that I put on Instagram. It's just that cost, $22, $20 plus tax,
Yeah. But
like
shipping for us is like we don't pay.
$10.
Yeah, it's
Oh shit.
expensive. Like
Yeah.
$5, $10.
Hey, well,
Like
hold on. I'll be right there. Oh god, this poor kid.
that's
Uh,
the whole thing with trying to sell this shit. You got to ship it. Like you're selling a $10 figure for $10 shipping, and like I
yeah.
try to be like, oh, free shipping, and then like it doesn't always work out.
No, you're giving away money at that point.
Yeah,
You're
and then
giving.
they don't want us to pay $10 shipping on a $10 action figure.
That's what I'm
So when you
saying,
get down to
man.
the lower shit, it's hard to get rid of.
Shipping that's what I'm saying is like I don't know why you could think Hasbro is lying when you can't even ship stuff for cheaper yourself. You know what I
Look,
mean?
I
It's
got
like
I got a friend that sells toys, and what he pays for shipping, like he'll send me a box of shit, a big giant box of shit for
mhm.
$4 shipping, something that would cost me $40 for shipping. So
Wow.
so when you're in the business, you're like Big Bad would ship shit for $4. Like
Yeah,
you
that's right.
know,
Yeah,
like
USPS
what
keeps
they
these
pay, what
prices.
Amazon pays for shipping, what Fed, like these big companies, what they pay for shipping is nothing. It's like I get the shipping. Like when we pay shipping, it's $15. When they pay shipping, it's $2. Like it's a huge difference from what they pay.
That's
Like because
right.
I have friends that they have online toy stores, and they're literally he'll ship it. It goes, oh, I'll give you that price with shipping, and I'm like, shit, it was cheaper than it was at Target. Like, you know, and he's like, well, shipping only cost me $4 to ship the whole fucking case. And I'm
But the
like,
freight
oh,
shipping has but going back to the freight shipping, I really believe that has gone up because I'm getting quoted like, dude, I got quoted $30,000 on freight shipping, and my guy told me that just 2 years ago it was 7,000.
yeah. Yeah, I heard the same thing on that also.
That's a shit ton of that's more than 3 times as much money. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's insane.
So I could understand that, their pricing is going to go up because of that, because they're public, they're going to they have to keep that fucking profit margin higher than
Yeah.
than Todd does. And then Todd could still make a lot of money because he's not public, so he's going to be fine. It's just the
Well,
reality is that it's
he
a
does have
corporation.
investors. Like, I don't think he owns all of that company,
To be
but
honest with you, I think he does, but I don't know for sure. Like I don't I
I
thought he
I
did.
I know he doesn't. Like I've
Okay.
got I've friends that
Mhm.
used to work there, and yeah, he doesn't.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, Spawn 100%, DC
Oh,
51%.
well, DC, no, he doesn't own any of that's a licensing deal. That's
Well, as
different.
far as the company itself, like he
Oh,
doesn't
DC.
like
Oh, and
that's
DC Comics, really?
yeah,
Oh,
he's got partners and investors and shit as far as that goes. The Spawn is
oh,
it's all him, and
yeah,
that's just
right.
like, that's just business. Like I think that's where like I know where his shitty selection comes from because I've actually heard the other side of the story. And it's like, oh, well, how come there's so many fucking Batmans? And it's like, well, it's not his choice. It's other people's with money's choice. Like, Batman fucking sells. You're making Batman. And it's like, well, we want to make this. Well, you're not making that. When it comes to the movie figures, he's got like basically zero say in it. It's like, you're doing this, and this is how you're doing it.
Before we go, I want to make a point that I would like to take. I personally, whether it's true or not, I in my own freaking little reality could be totally wrong about it, but I have a feeling that I had some kind of influence over McFarlane Toys upping their articulation game, which eventually led to him getting the DC Multiverse stuff, because I bugged Todd for years about bringing articulation in. They finally fucking did it with the Fortnite, and only after the Fortnite did they get the fucking DC Multiverse thing.
Right.
I don't think they would have gotten DC Multiverse if they hadn't gotten that Fortnite and actually taken the plunge into articulation. Now, I don't think they did that because of me. Again, there has to be a fuck ton of other people saying this for it to actually
and there was.
And there was a fuck ton of people, and I know this, that actually work for McFarlane Toys that wanted to do the articulation also.
Right.
So, but I still think that my public voice may have helped nudge that happen in that direction amongst a bunch of other things, you know?
Yeah,
so.
I could see that. I never really reviewed any of his shit until recent, because they never made, like, I got all of his old Spawn shit, and I just accepted the fact that they were statues, and I never, like, I was just so happy that people were actually sculpting real shit and, you know, real paint apps and characters that were just crazy versus the shit. Like, I mean, we went from just garbage 5-inch Marvel figures to that, like overnight, and you were like, holy shit. So I left, plus I didn't review shit. I was just happy to get it. And now when he's doing it, like, I mean, I didn't really care about anything that he was making until he started making Spawn and DC, and then I don't know, man, that 7-inch scale, it definitely throws me off, man. I'm not a fan at all. I don't know why he's doing it. I wish that he would have just stole Marvel Legends.
I think that's Warner Brothers. I think Warner Brothers. That's again Warner Brothers thing. That's
they do it on the movie figures, like on
this right here. I hate the plastic they use. That is why. That's another reason why they're able to be cheaper.
I think their plastic's better than Marvel Legends. They don't have marbling like Marvel Legends does.
I have a feeling they're using more ABS than PVC, and the PVC has that pliability that lets you bend easy. I think they're using a lot more ABS, and that's why you have to like crack just to bend the knee. You have to really put force into it.
Right.
It's all the really hard plastic. That's what I think, and it could be a composite. You could do different stuff with it, but I think it's more like the more rigid plastic is being used, which is, you know.
I think visually their plastic looks way better. It's never marbling, and the colors are more solid.
And they have more paint, way more paint.
And they're not transparent like the plastic that Marvel Legends uses. So it's like sometimes they're gummy and soft, and and they just don't feel right. Like, I like Todd's plastic better. I don't know if it's better or not, but so visually, I hate the marbling. It just looks like a cheap. And then you take Todd's plastic, and you're like, holy shit! Like Todd's gold, like when he does gold. I mean, except for
the fucking Redeemer, yeah.
That was shit, man. That figure, like, I had to buy that figure because they gave me like 2 for free, and I had to buy that. I'm like, this figure looks like shit. Like, I don't even want to buy it, but I wanted to complete the set. And it's like, I wish I would have got this one for free, because I'd have no problem buying any of these other ones. But that one,
I was really looking forward to that character too. I really like that one. I was really looking forward to him.
He dropped the fucking ball on that. But
hey, bro, I got to get rolling. I got the kid waiting for me, so I got to put it to bed. Hey, thank you so much for doing this, bro. Love you, man. And it's all love over here. And I'm glad this went down as well as it did. It actually went down a whole lot.
Yeah, because I was
like,
I really just wanted to fuck you up for 2 hours, but I got too much love for you, bro. I couldn't do it,
dude.
All right, tell all you other YouTube friends that I hate them, but
all right.
Later.
Yeah. All right, thanks, man. All right, you guys. Thanks again, people on the Patreon. And Joseph Pinor, and Good Cancer 42343. We have the Tony Stank figure already out, but if these are your screen names, send me an email at sprime@bkbn.net. I need to get your figures to you. I'll mention this in another video that's not at the end of a 2-hour live stream. Thanks again, TalkerArt. Check out his channel. Link in the description below, and I'll have another live stream over here, or probably another Rust Toy Reviews video before the next live stream. But thanks again, everybody. I had a great time, and thanks again, TalkerArt, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.